go.
Oh, you messed that up.
What is up, everybody? It's Seabass with Bass and Beer Radio. Got Paul, Tony in the house. And on the other end here, we have our friends with Dura Deck Marine products and
JCS
our friends
Marine.
with JCS Marine.
It's a full house tonight, guys. We're going to
Yes,
get
sir.
down into the details about flipping, making custom bass boats. We've talked to JCS before. You guys have seen some of their stuff coming down the line. And then also, Dura Deck does a lot of their custom decking for the boats that they build and restore. So we're going to hear from both of the groups of experts here and get down. And so if you got a boat that you're looking to flip, or you got a boat that you're working on, tonight's going to be a great one for you guys to check it out and get a chance to ask these guys exactly what it is that you need to be doing. So I'm going to share the post because I always forget to share the post.
Chad
Yep.
Phipps just shared the post.
Chad Phipps shared the post.
I'm currently doing that right now.
I will do that myself.
I like how everyone says good evening now. It's the same time. Well, I guess they're saying good evening, but it feels like it's like 9 o'clock now because of this crap.
Totally does. I'm not a fan of it.
No, me neither.
But
Good morrow, sirs.
any days, with further ado, shall we bring on the fellers?
Don't you mean without further ado?
Yes, without
Further ado. I don't know English. Anyways, let's bring them on.
Let's do it.
Are you an illegal?
We're back. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing well.
Thank you for coming on the show. We're excited to have you and get some of these questions answered that I feel like everybody in the industry has when you want to talk about going from carpet to foam deck. It's a very asked question. A lot of people that go to restore boats, I think that's probably the number. That's one of the most common questions you hear.
Right.
Well, should I put foam in there? Should I do carpet?
And it's so intimidating too. Like I thought about doing it on my Champion when I had my Champion, and I was just like, no, I'm not messing with that.
So, yeah, tell us a little bit about what you guys are into.
My name is Russ. This is my son, Aaron Brenner. We own Dura Deck Marine products. And you're right. You know, the EVA PE foam decking is really growing within the bass boat segment right now. We feel like we've been a kind of a innovator in that area because when we started the company, it was solely for bass boat applications. And at that time, just being truthful, a lot of what people would perceive as larger companies really just didn't have any interest in bass boats. So we saw a huge opportunity. And what we feel like we've done is simplified the process for the bass boat owner to incorporate this material in his boat without going through a whole lot of hassle and expense. So obviously JCS has been with us for several years now. He is no doubt a premier dealer of ours. Funny story, when John reached out to us for the very first time and was needing, I believe, some components for a bass cat he was completely restoring, and we told him, hey, we don't necessarily have the patterns or the drawings for those, and he said, no problem, we'll send you some templates, and a lot of people tell us that, and what we actually get in the door is actually pretty funny sometimes. But a set of templates showed up from John, and I will say they were so impressive. They're hanging out here in the shop on the wall and have been since that day. So we knew that we were working with somebody that knew what they were doing.
That's awesome. Real quick, we are having a little bit of a technical difficulty with JCS Marine right now. They are frozen.
Yeah, I'm working with Adam right now. So we'll disconnect from them for just a moment, let them do their thing. And then, gents, you guys have the link whenever you're good to go. Come on back on and join us. But we're going to continue the conversation here with our friends at Dura Deck. So you guys said it's now getting big into the bass boat. So how long have you guys been doing this? And what was the original target audience for your product?
Bass boats.
So we started the company in 2018. And here again, from day one, we saw a huge void in the bass boat market. And this was from my personal experience. At that time, I had a 2018 Ranger 520 that I really was kind of frustrated with the cockpit carpet staying wet literally for weeks at a time.
Yep.
I kept the boat garaged, and and took very good care of it, like most bass boat owners do. And it was frustrating. So I started reaching out to various companies trying to figure out how to get my boat done. And this went on over a period of probably 7 or 8 months, and just really couldn't get anywhere. And I know when we think about COVID, sometimes there can be a lot of kind of negative impact or stories surrounding it, but ours is actually quite different, because once Aaron graduated from East Carolina University, he was out in LA pursuing his career as a project manager on various projects. And well, I talked to him one Friday, and he was trying to figure out how he was going to get it all done. And next thing you know, he calls me on Monday afternoon and he says, I'm on the way home. It's over. And so, it was a blessing for me. I had already kind of started thinking about starting the company and pursuing the bass boat segment of the industry. And I said, hey, come on home and let's do this thing. And to be honest, as I'm sure you'll find out a little later on, that Aaron's been game changing in the industry, and I couldn't do it without him.
That's awesome.
I love hearing those go-getter stories with the father-son teams.
Yeah,
Right.
that's amazing.
Hell yeah.
I have a question about your product. Do you is it? I was just kind of poking around on your website, so I noticed I've looked at it. I've seen it before, and I've poked around in there. But do you do all custom work, or is there? Do you have like templates out that if somebody wanted to get something specific for a boat, that you just have it ready to cut and you can send it out to them?
The answer is yes. So we have what we would believe to be is the largest database of bass boat cockpits and accessory items. So every boat that we've done is logged. And no matter what bass boat you have, whether it be Bass Cat Champion, Skeeter, you name it, even down the Glass Stream, you call us and you give us the model, we'll check, what we've done. And then at that point, we can cut a template and send it out to you, check fit, maybe some minor adjustments, and we can produce it like that. So, yes, it's logged, but it is custom. So that product isn't on the shelf. It's on the shelf, and we're manufacturing it per your request.
Okay.
So whether you wanted your logo or, your wife's name, we can make it happen.
Cool. Happy wife, happy life, right?
No one's
I
ever
would know
taken
anything
You
about
know
that.
who would? Who would do that?
The boats have hers, right?
Rob would have Maria
Oh, yeah.
on the front of his boat
yeah.
all day long,
Oh, yeah.
Or Lou.
or Lou.
Rob would have Lou's name on his boat. That's weird.
It's funny. It's funny that you mentioned that you had the issue with like your carpet, the cockpit carpet staying wet. I had a Champion, and it wasn't as bad in my Champion. And I bought a new Skeeter this year, and that is the one thing that annoys me is that if it gets wet, it takes forever for that to get dry. I have to go out every day, take every day that the sun's out, take the cover off, and let it bake in the sun for a little bit, to get it dry. So I was seriously thinking about doing that for the cockpit area. So
Well, the beauty of the material is it's closed cell, so it's completely non-absorbent.
Right.
It will not hold water, and so it just sheds it and dries extremely quick. Extremely quick.
So we got our friends at JCS back on. So Chad's going to play with the computer here and get everybody re-lined up with where we're going. Welcome back, guys.
Thank you.
We'll say it was Adam's fault. I can only say that because I saw the awesome job that Adam did on the gel coat. I like how I got that text from John, and he was like, "Yeah, I just want to see how Adam did." I was like, "Okay, so he's a professional. You didn't know that? Jesus Christ!" So,
Hey, if any boat was the good boat to be the test dummy on, it was yours.
I'm ready for that thing, man. I'm ready. So I guess tell us a little bit about how you guys kind of got together. Did you know each other before you each started your own thing, or like I'm assuming it's probably similar to how I found JCS. As I saw a post on Instagram and I was like, these guys, I got to get in touch with them. Is that kind of how it started?
I'm gonna let John answer that question since he was with a competitor before he came to us.
Ooh, damn, got him.
Called him out. Called him out.
We were using somebody else, but we heard about Dura Deck from our friend Sharon Brown. He had done a cockpit mat from Russ and was blown away with it. I saw it in person, and yeah, that's who we're going with.
That's awesome.
So just the quality of the work that you saw, that sold you.
Oh, it's easy. It's easy to pick up.
Yeah,
Well,
I was going
and-
to say, it really didn't sound like there was a whole lot of convincing that was needed in that statement.
Well, and the thing of it is like, you know, because the C, well, they call it C deck, is
Yeah.
like the general term of you know, like the padded front decks
would
that's
be
not
the
carpet.
I guess it
right?
would be the general term that most people.
That's what when
might
you
know.
think of not carpet, people say, at least in this era, they say C deck, but there's no level really of customization with it. It's just just there.
I think was that not the like original? Like I don't understand.
No, I
No,
Yeah, he let him answer.
It was, you could call them the pioneers of EVA foam decking in the United States. That is true.
and there's been several, obviously more developed and different brands that have come out that are to par, if not better than that.
Yeah, the material has definitely evolved, and you know, as it's grown, I would, you know, be safe to say that, you know, a lot of maybe some of the guys are, if you call them originators or in the industry, even their material has changed and has evolved, you know, over recent years.
So speaking of materials changing, when this stuff kind of first came out, there was I know a couple of people who had it and weren't very impressed with the durability. It looked like it broke down pretty easily if you got a lot of in like your high traffic areas. How is the durability on the newer EVA foam for somebody like me who fishes 4 days a week and is constantly constantly on the water?
I mean, the earlier products are, I guess, maybe what you heard about. So essentially you got two main materials, right? You have EVA and you have PE. If you can see my hands wherever they're at. And, they can be blended. So as you go PE, you're going to lose comfortability and gain durability. And as you go more EVA, you're going to gain comfortability and lose durability. So we, have tried to formulate a material that finds itself somewhere in the middle so that it's, still gives you the comfort and everything that you want, but will take the fishing that you're trying to do.
And does this stuff come in multiple different thicknesses now?
It does. And we do multiple thicknesses. The comfortability is all compression based, right? So, we have a lot of people that come in our shop, local customers, whatever, in saltwater, and they see thicker stuff out there on the internet and they think, oh, thicker, more comfortable. And typically we'll have them stand on a 12 millimeter half-inch piece or a quarter-inch piece, and they have a hard time noticing the difference based upon the thickness because you're not compressing it. If you were larger person that's going to compress it all the way down to the floor, then yes, thicker would be more comfortable, but it's not necessarily the case for everybody.
Gotcha.
Have you guys ever thought about I'm sure maybe you've tried, but is there a potential for you guys to get like a contract with a company like Ranger or Bullet or somebody who just you guys outfit all of their EVA foam that they run on their boats? Is that something that someone's reached out to you, or is that what you guys hope to do in the future?
We're engaged with a few bass boat manufacturers at the moment. We just recently did a boat, straight off the factory line for a customer. But if we're truthful about it, if we're really looking forward, we still see this as being an option for some time. So, to sit there and say, well, will we be Dura decking every boat that comes off the line? Maybe one day. But it's something that will probably take time. I'll tell you what we firmly believe, and that is we'll launch with a major bass boat brand in the very near future.
That's fantastic.
Because but as we talk about that, the challenge with this product and incorporating it into a complete bass boat has always been, if you look at aftermarket, and even if you look at new boat construction, there's a couple hurdles there. One, so an aftermarket, guy brings us a boat and he says, man, I want the whole boat. I don't want carpet. I hate carpet. Get it out of my boat. And you strip all the carpet off, and what you end up are with extremely large gaps.
I was going to ask this question of how you guys solve that.
Right. So what happens is, and this is true story. When I first got going, guys used to literally call me up and beg me, like, just do my whole boat. I just want the whole boat. And I explained to them what the challenges were, and I don't care. I just want to do it. And we held the line. I explained to them that, once we figure out a system, we would be more than happy to do your boat. And unfortunately, what happens with that, guys get so excited, they maybe spray paint or bed liner the edge of the lids, and then they apply the material to the top surface. And they think, wow, this is awesome. But what happens is they get sick of those large gaps in between the lids pretty quick. The other challenge is the lids are going to rattle. They're going to clank. And it's virtually impossible in most cases to keep moisture out of the hatches at that point. So we have had a couple dealers, unfortunately, that had somebody go another route like that, and then basically bring the dealer to them and bring the boat back to them and say, man, I just want you to put my carpet back on. And that's unfortunate. That doesn't make us happy by any means, because we feel like it's just not a good a good representation of the product or the process. So you say, well, wait, how do you guys do it? And the bottom line was, I knew if we could figure out how to, whether it be aftermarket or new boat construction, could incorporate this material in the entire boat, we were going to be in pretty good shape. So my key role in that was coming into the shop every day and saying to Aaron, have you figured it out yet?
Right. I mean, hey, it works.
Right.
That is a way.
And I mean, that is a true story, with pretty much my role in the business and, day to day and what I was doing. This is the guy that is in the shop running production and really, is touching it every day. And I just kept pushing him like, hey man, you figured it out yet? Hey man, we got to figure this out. We got to do this. So it was a great day that he walked in one morning and said, I got to figure it out.
Nice.
So what's the secret?
Well, they can't tell you the secret.
Well, okay.
That's like giving up the Krabby Patty formula.
Can you tell us the secret? I mean, I guess I'll know when I get the bullet back, or at least have an idea. But
What's up, Dale?
That is pretty awesome that you guys were able to figure that out, because that is. I fished on an express in 2022. Went down to Florida for a week and we fished. And it had EVA foam on it. It was really, really nice. And that was the first time I'd actually been directly exposed to EVA foam. So I thought it was pretty neat. But you are absolutely right in that there were gaps in the lids. Now it's aluminum, but the lids did rattle quite a bit. And because of that reason, I was like, man, I don't know if I would ever go this route. But what you guys are telling me now, I mean, it's like the best of both worlds. I have spike-it stains in my Ranger from like when I bought it in 2018, the first time I ever fished out of it. It's not, I catching catfish today when I was supposed to be live scoping smallmouth. They look just like them on live scope, I swear.
No, they don't.
But there's slime all over. But now there's slime, and
But they do when you're not catching anything all day.
yeah, and the carpet. All right, easy. And the carpet, like he said with the drying, it's ridiculous. I mean, my boat stays outside. It's covered, but it stays outside, so it's like getting that to dry out is a nightmare. And especially this time of year when it's cold in this part of the country, at least. I mean, if you don't, it'll just freeze and screw up your carpet and screw up your lids. I can't tell you how many times I've had moisture in between my lids on the carpet and the lids be frozen together.
Look, I jumped on the foam train a while ago. I think it is absolutely superior to carpet in every way.
I still like the feel of carpet.
Temperature, feeling, not getting your hooks and shit stuck in it.
That's a big
cleaning.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Everything about it, in my opinion, is better and superior than carpet. Now, obviously, when I went my direction, I did a crappy John boat build to go run something back in the swamps, and I laid some foam down on some particle board. But I'm telling you, it's still way better than the deck on my fully furnished Ranger.
So how do you guys, and he brings up a good point about
I like the
cleaning.
carpet on
What
my
do you guys recommend
It's padded
for
carpet.
cleaning?
I mean, most everything should be on top. I guess our main recommendation for cleaning would be doing it when it happens. You know, like I'll keep a cup in my boat. If I got something on my boat, I'll rinse it. Right. You know, I mean, I'm not down there with a rag cleaning it, but like if you gut hook a fish, you get them out, like just push that, you know, with some water and get it away. That'll help a lot. And then other than that, I mean, we spot clean with, you know, degreasers like 409 or whatever, and then you know, whatever, any boat wash Dawn when you're washing the boat, you know.
Wow.
So
That's
Some simple
So it's
green
not-
and some simple green
Simple.
hose.
Simple green. We
So
keep
it's
simple.
it's really no different than carpet. Like you want to do, I do the same thing with carpet. You know,
Kind of
if you
taking
get-
care of it,
you
yes,
get the blood.
but
I mean, as far as cleaning it, like you get, you know, like he said, you know, try to do it when it happens. You know, if I get blood on my carpet, you know, I'm going to try to put some water on it right away to, you know, make sure that it doesn't sit there and dry.
the
So
difference is
doesn't
you,
really seem
you
there's a
will
whole lot-
notice a little bit of a color difference in the carpet. On the foam, it just rinses off. It just goes away. I have stains on my Rangers carpet, and I dump water on it right away because I want to sell it because it's a piece of shit.
The reality is
Pull the plug and let it sink.
Insurance.
the reality is blood will stain about anything. I mean, you know, but just wetting it and keeping it from drying, you know, like that is kind of a game changer. So the difference between, you know, the foam decking and carpet is, you get in the boat in the morning out of the boat ramp, you know, you're walking through the gravel, you climb in, maybe the carpet's a little wet, you step up in there, you look, and you've got two nice footprints right there.
Yeah.
You know, you look back during the day and they kind of go away, you think, but the reality is they're just in the carpet.
Right.
So with the foam, everything will be up on the surface. So cleaning is just so much easier.
Yeah, you don't have to get down there and, you know, do the old Barbasol and scrub brush.
Barbasol.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot easier. I mean, I'm definitely interested in your product. I might have to give you guys a call because, like Tony said, you know, this time of year, me and Tony fish all winter. So,
Like idiots.
in my boat, like if it's like late fall, November, I try not late in the winter. I try not to fish in the rain, but you know, in November you get caught in the rain, and then it's like
then it
40
freezes,
degrees. It's
yeah.
like 40 degrees for the next 3 weeks, you know, and you come out a month later, your carpet's still wet. You know, it's not as bad in the summertime when when it's warm, but in the wintertime, that is like my biggest annoyance. So I might have to give you guys a call.
Call JCS.
Yeah, JCS.
I have a question. I have a question about your Dura Deck and your colors and your design. I would love to get into. So, what kind of? You guys have some beautiful designs.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like obviously we've seen some of the stuff that the JCS got going on. It is freaking black and lime green everywhere. What is that? So do you
Have you seen some of
have you have foam that is all green on the inside and just black on the outside, and then you use like a CNC machine to engrave?
And like the patterns.
Yeah, with all the
Those
patterns
patterns
and
are
whatnot in it.
So all the products that I mean, not all of it, but it's 90% of the product that we stock is dual layered, right? So it's a 1/4 inch thick or 6 millimeters, and it's 3 millimeters of one color, 3 millimeters of the other color, and then we use a CNC machine to expose the bottom layer.
We lost them.
Up and they're gone.
We lost him. Adam, can you send our buddies a text real quick? I don't know why we lost him.
I'm on it.
We're on.
It was like mid gone,
It's like the South Park, and
So
it's gone.
and it's gone.
So while we're waiting for them to get back, I'm gonna need a cockpit mat for a 2023 Skeeter ZXR 20.
And it's gone.
Do the whole boat.
That's hilarious.
No. I like my carpet. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of my carpet.
Death to carpet.
Plus, it's brand new, and I don't want to spend that much money.
Hey, carpet was really good in the 80s.
I'm definitely
but,
death to carpet.
I just spent $70,000 on a boat. I'm not trying to redo everything. In it.
Russ.
$2,000.
There you go. Yep.
But I would like that cockpit mat. I really like that idea, because that's always the problem that you have with the drying, is just the cockpit. Everything else dries fine.
Yeah. Tony should have a few pictures. He can
I've
show
seen
you.
them. I've seen them.
Did you send them to my Facebook?
I sent them to your Facebook, so we're gonna pull those up while we're waiting for the gents to get back with us here, or Chad's gonna work on pulling them up. But so I guess while we're waiting, what do you guys have? I know you guys always have some like crazy builds going on. What's like what's the newest one? I know I saw the aluminum boat. That's pretty awesome. Do you guys have any more like just super rare boats? Where are we at with that 20cc, by the way? I'm curious. The one that I saw when I was up there.
We're trying to get that done for the Northeast Fishing Expo at the end of January.
Okay.
Ooh.
Cool.
Little Vexus action.
Oh, there it is. That's the champion. That's the famous champion. Oh, there. Oh, wow. So the cap's back on that thing too. Wow.
Ooh.
The trailers behind it kind of blends in a little bit.
Lots of white.
All white.
I like it. We're scrolling through some pictures over here, looking at some work you guys have done.
Let's see. We're gonna go to
We're gonna pull up.
slideshow. Dude, this software is freaking awesome. You can pick like the coolest shit.
So what's going on the back of that 20cc, by the way?
Did you save the pictures? Or
Yes.
did you just look at it?
250-ish.
250-ish.
Nice.
Is that does that mean flash Yamaha?
It means 250-ish.
Speaking of flashed Yamahas, our buddy Kevin just had his show flashed like 2 days ago.
Big difference.
Yeah, he needs to get it propped right, but he said he's noticed a huge difference from like low to mid end. He said it's insane. He said, but it's the prop he has sucks, so he definitely needs to repop it.
So we're pulling up one of the pictures right now. We're pulling up a couple pictures right now, apparently.
What is that?
That's just a random picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, no big deal.
So there's the picture on the screen of an entire boat that looks like a Phoenix that's been done with the Dura Deck, and that one matches the JCS Marine colors. And now we have Chad's computer screen. I don't know why.
Yep. Hang on a second. We got to figure this out.
But yeah, no, that actually looks really, really good, man. I really like how that turned out, and I like the customization of it's what is really, really cool in my opinion. It saved your pictures, maybe it saved somewhere. Save pictures. Is that it? I don't know. You're gonna have to find it.
I don't know. I'm bad at this.
Go to local disc.
I do like
There's that one.
That green and black is kind of sick.
The green and black.
The green
is
and black's
awesome.
really cool, but I don't know where they are.
Local disc.
No, it's not in
Never
there.
mind. That's weird. That it. Yeah, Chad's gonna find the pictures that he just downloaded from the ones that you sent me, John.
Was it under that saved pictures folder at the top?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I mean, I just downloaded them, so
Is that where
I kind of figured.
Is that where the naughty photos are?
Open. If you go to your downloads again, up in the thing.
Yeah, go to
Yep.
downloads,
And then go to the first one. Now see the folder location. Open that.
and then we can see where it's at.
That's
Okay.
what
So user shed downloads. Okay.
Gotcha.
cool. So now we're gonna import
But
everything.
where's that at?
It's
Users.
Go to add files. All right, and then go to downloads.
I'm in downloads.
Go down. Go to user. Sorry.
Oh yeah,
User.
This PC.
Go to local disk. See where it says local disk? Down, there.
Computers suck. There it is.
Yep.
Now go to downloads.
There should be a downloads folder there somewhere.
Down one. Yep.
It's all the same shit. Anyways, I give up.
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. We'll figure it out. But anyway, did Russ get back in by any chance? Yes. All right. Now we got him back. We got you guys back. All right. Cool.
Can you guys hear us?
Yeah, we got you loud and clear.
Perfect.
Don't know what happened with that disconnection. You were in the middle of talking, and then all of a sudden it just went. Bloop.
Yep.
I think what I was saying is, the material is dual layered, so it's the top and bottom color, and then yes, we do use CNC machine, and then we, that's how we expose the bottom color. So like on the black over green that you guys were talking about, we're cutting through to that bottom layer and exposing it. So there's an elevation change there, but that's how you put the logos or patterns or whatever in it.
And now you guys are obviously doing that on pretty large pieces of foam. So I imagine the CNC machine is a pretty decent size, and you have the ability to actually do, I've seen like stuff that you've done in your pictures is almost like fades into the color, which is pretty wild looking.
Yeah, you're talking about like on the edges of the lids?
Yeah, it's almost like it goes from full thickness and slowly tapers down into like the underneath color, and it's almost like a fade in a way, and it looks really good.
Yeah, we have a large combination of different bits and stuff we use to achieve different effects, depending on the size of the logo or where it may be at, or, lots of factors.
Let's see here. I know I had a... Where's this at?
There it is.
I'm shopping on your website right now.
It's in the top left. Yep, there you go.
Top left.
So we're going to blow up this picture real quick, just for everyone to take a look at. But this is what we're talking about. So this is this is one of your guys's on. It looks like a green Phoenix. This looks amazing.
Is it primarily green or black?
It's the base layer is black, and then it's like a lime green on there.
That's the Phoenix that JCS Marine did. So what that's featuring is our Dura Wrap system. So for the guys that are listening in, and they're saying, well, what's the difference between you and what you described as far as sticking the material on the top? So if they pull the carpet off, our system will actually build the lid out. We can redimension it before we wrap it in a one-piece construction. So our material will come down the sides of the lid, back underneath, and back up, just like their carpet does now. So by redimensioning the lid and the opening before we wrap them in a one-piece construction, on an aftermarket boat, we can close that gap to, say, roughly a 1/4 inch. So it is greatly reduced, but the key feature is it wraps all the way around. So now that when you close that hatch lid and you have the compression latches set properly, it will seal that hatch off. So no more lid rattling, no more clanking, and most importantly, water or moisture in the hatches. And I want to speak to that from experience if I can. I'm a Ranger guy. Aaron was raised a Ranger guy. My last purchase was what I thought for many years would be my dream boat, and that is a 2015 Ranger Z520 Intracoastal. So we're here located on the Cape Fear River. We do bass fish, we do redfish, chase trout, and I just thought this was going to be the perfect boat. And I have no issues with the boat itself. I've owned this same hull 3 times. But this lid does have 2-piece gel-coated fiberglass lids in it, like a saltwater boat. So you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And so it came with
JCS. You guys following?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Shit, they probably built the damn thing.
Yeah. Probably so. So it came with a competitor's foam or something on it, and we took that out obviously and kind of tricked it out a bit with our own product. But what I thought was going to be so cool, actually, I've not been that crazy about, and that is the lids are heavy. When you go with a two-piece fiberglass lid, you're adding quite a bit of weight to the boat. So when the hull was designed, it wasn't designed for that much bow weight. And what I knew from setting up the hull before, you could take all that and throw it out the window, because if you're dealing with so much bow weight, I was running into some real issues with prop and pad to prop height. Secondly, I can't keep moisture out of the hatches. And of course, this just, if you think wet carpet drives you crazy, stick a couple $1,000s worth of tackle in your center locker and get it wet.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I guess secondly, cosmetically, it originally when it's new, it looks great. But the challenge is if you walk around on gel coat, eventually it looks like hell.
Oh yeah.
And that's just a fact. So, you end up with these, beautiful fiberglass lids that end up dinged, chipped, scratched. You walk on them, wear them. Surely, nobody likes to incur the expense of having to recarpet the boat or even Dura Deck it. But pull those lids off and take them to a fiberglass guy and ask him to refinish them and see what that costs you.
Oh, for sure.
But just have Adam do it. He's good at fiberglassing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, apparently he's great at gel coat.
Right.
So
It's been you have been nominated.
Right.
That's definitely something that I can relate to, because there was no on my Champion, at the bow, there was no padding or anything on on the gunnel, and over the years, I mean before I got it, it just got scratched to hell, because like you said earlier, you get some dirt, you get dirt on your shoes if it's a little damp in the morning. You get a little dirt on your shoes, and as soon as that touches gel coat, it just like cuts right into it.
Yep. Remember that time, Chad? I was using a big old flathead screwdriver and a hammer to chip the ice off my rods and reels because I got. Yeah. So
I'll never forget the time I show up to Tony's house in the morning to go fishing, and he can't get into his rod locker and everything, and he chips the ice away from it and opens it, and then we look down into the rod locker, and all his fishing rods and reels are frozen in a block of ice.
Yep. You know what the best part is? I still have every single one of those reels. They absolutely still work, which is insane.
Oh my god, what a morning! I was like, well, this is gonna be a fucking day.
And a day it was.
I've done everything from like you said, like with a screwdriver, like trying to get like chip ice away, to sitting out there with a hair dryer on the deck.
Oh, it's the worst.
Just
it's the worst.
just to get your your lockers open. Yeah, it sucks.
You don't have that problem with foam.
No. And it's because I have an older boat. I'm running a 2000 Ranger 518. So I love the boat. It's my last year with it until I get this bullet. It's my last year with it. It's been a great boat, but there's no water. All the waterproofing is totally dry rotted and gone at this point. Like you're getting water in your compartments. It's just the way it is. So, and if it freezes, then you now have ice in your compartments.
I got water in the compartments in my Ranger from the factory.
Nice.
Did you get it from the factory?
Well, that's where it came from. Came from the factory. And
Somebody dumped a water bottle down there.
Picked it up at Bowers, and then it just gets wet ever since.
That's interesting.
Kind of like your Skeeter.
My Skeeter doesn't get wet anymore.
Not anymore. I just never took the time to fix my problem.
I didn't fix my problem either, other than realizing I was an idiot and my driveway is on a slope, so all the water was running to the front of my boat.
Oh goodness!
And then once I got the cover adjusted and jacked the front up a little bit higher, I was good to go.
Is the EVA foams, your Dura Deck, is that applied with the 3M, or how do you guys apply that so that it doesn't come out? Or
It's a pressure sensitive adhesive, PSA adhesive on the back. Not 3M brand per se, but comparable product for sure.
okay. I got you.
Actually, very sticky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very sticky.
I'm guessing you got some in
there
your
any-
beard at one point. Is there a story behind that?
Push it against my arms when I do have trimmings and whatnot. Yeah, it takes all your arm hair with it.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's when you have to take it up, it's not fun. You might want to take lunch before and calm down.
Is there any boat brand that is harder to apply your product to than I don't know, because I've never applied this stuff, but is there any boats that are just made to the point, this is probably more of a question for you guys, John, but like, is there any like older, maybe like an older Stratus or something that is just a pain in the ass to get this kind of stuff on, or is it all just seamless, easy to do?
The Phoenix was probably tough.
Well,
The gaps were all different.
The boats with different gaps are a little tough to deal with, but Bass Cat uses some glue on their carpet. It's more of a prep thing than putting the Dura Deck down. It is tough to get their carpet and glue off, boy.
And their lids are like their lids are kind of weird. Like most boats are pretty uniform in that you have left locker, right locker, center storage, whatever that orientation is. But it's like Bass Cat, they're like, here's this, 7x6 weird compartment for like your sunglasses or something. And it, you know what I mean? Like it's weird. I mean, Skeeter had some weird
The
stuff.
boxes are also like at an angle on some of the Bass Cats. They're like diagonal and shit.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
What's funny is the box lid is at a diagonal, but the box underneath is straight. that always I always thought that was funny with Bass Cat. It's like you have these triangular lid, hatches
For the live
and then you
wells?
open it up
Yeah.
and it's a rectangular compartment. So I always just thought that was kind of funny with Bass Cat.
Here's a question about when talking about deck lids. So for boats like Falcon and stuff like that, where the lids kind of open in that other way, where I don't know what the name for that is, but instead of opening to the side, they open up long ways. Do you guys have to do anything special for your Dura Deck on that, or is it work the same way in terms of closing the gap?
I mean, look, and there's nothing special. I mean, the lids are the lids, so I mean, you strip them off.
And we lost.
No, we lost them again,
What did you say?
and it's gone.
And it's gone.
Well, while we try to get the guys back on, John, have you guys had to deal with any lids like that? I mean, you guys probably don't see a whole lot of Falcons up that way, do you?
Well, I
We
mean,
see it.
Do you?
Go ahead, John.
It doesn't change the way we put the product on.
Oh, I think he's back already.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got him back. So you guys were saying about the Falcon lids.
Strange things are happening.
No, I mean, each boat has its own challenges in the way that they, design the deck or lay things out. But once you get it down to bare metal, fiberglass, or whatever, the application process is all the same. I mean, there's different nuances on the way that we have to cut things based upon the size of the radiuses they use on inside corners or the angles that they did this or that. But once that's figured out, the application process it's all pretty much the same.
I imagine those Falcon rod locker lids aren't really any different than a center compartment, right?
No different.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
I'm pretty sure you guys did answer this earlier, but you have have you guys ever had anybody come in the shop that just wants every single square inch of that boat put in Dura Deck? I mean, inside the rod lockers, inside the bait locker, I mean, everything is C decked. Nothing is not Dura Deck. Sorry. Nothing is not Dura Deck.
EVA foam.
The champion you guys loved.
You were the first person I thought of. You've actually had a couple. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll put it on the hull. It don't matter to us.
Yeah.
For as much crap as we
I'm not
hit
going
in
to
the
guarantee
gun,
how it runs, but
for as much crap as we hit in the gunpowder, it's probably not a horrible idea.
Well, I gotta say, if you hit a rock or something with it, it would probably significantly help out.
Yeah,
probably not.
it just wouldn't
Depends
sound
how
like
fast
metal on
you're
metal.
going. If you're just, you know what I mean.
Might slow the water from getting in.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, right.
If I'm drifting down the Susquehanna and I just bump a rock, but I got that nice Dura Deck on the outside of my boat, no scratches, no.
It's like you hit a
dings.
pillow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's
except
like
you're-
having a My Pillow surrounding your boat.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to sacrifice, 20 miles an hour in speed,
20 miles an hour, and eventually probably an additional couple 100 pounds in weight from the water
Right.
saturating it.
well, it's closed foam. It doesn't absorb water.
Never, ever. Not
I
even
know.
if it's in water for days.
I don't know.
No, I mean we put them on trailer bunks and on trailers, and I mean it dry
Really?
on trailers as it would dry anywhere else.
So you guys are doing trailer bunks and everything too.
But not necessarily the bunk side.
Trailer
steps.
Like the fenders, yeah, the steps and stuff. Okay.
Well, I mean that. Even if
That's
so, I
pretty
was
cool, actually.
surprised because like hearing like you put it on trailer, you have to have a durable material to take a boat on and off
Yeah.
of
Oh, yeah.
something like that. So, I mean that kind of speaks for durability.
And that's
in
a problem with carpet too. With an older boat trailer, once your carpet starts coming off, you have exposed fiberglass, screws, stuff like that coming out. So and I mean, if you're putting it on a fender,
Wood.
that's added padding. Yeah, wood too.
It's wood. Not you don't really have any fiberglass on there.
I do with my fenders. My fenders are fiberglass with carpet.
There's wood under that carpet. It's either wood or board.
Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. It
It's
is wood.
then it's drilled into the fiberglass.
Yeah.
There are some that's fiberglass with Bass Cat.
Really? Like it's just carpet on fiberglass?
Yeah, it's a
Yep.
full fiberglass fender,
Wow.
and it's just stuck to it.
No. Crap.
And then you blow your
Didn't know
tire
that.
and you don't have a fender anymore.
I have seen that
Or-
happen.
Or a side of your hull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine was literally stuck on dusty particle board, and it's 5 or 6 years old, and it is. You ain't pulling that up. You're gonna
Oh,
have
on
to
the
take
John
the whole
boat?
deck out. Yeah. So it will work on particle board as well.
Nice. What would you guys say is the coolest design you've ever done? Because like in my head, and
Shit, that JCS boat's freaking pretty.
well, here's could you guys do this, right? If somebody came to you and said, gave you a lake or a map of their lake and said, can you do like 10-foot contours for the whole boat design of the lake?
Yeah, I mean we could do it. Yeah, I mean if you if that's what you wanted, and you could pull up your C map or whatever it may be and screenshot it and get it to us, we can figure out how to make it happen for sure.
We can do it.
Be interesting.
Yeah,
That's
I mean
awesome.
we've done boats where we just did one a couple weeks ago here locally where the guy had some pretty crazy stitching in the seats, and we recreated it and put it all throughout the floor.
That's cool.
Wow.
Whatever really, I mean, as long as it's feasible, I guess. I mean, I don't know, it's probably not on that JCS boat you're looking at, but I know we've done plenty of stuff with JCS. We also have a laser machine that we can get really detailed with. So I mean, we could put a picture of your dog or pretty wild fish, fish animations and all types of stuff on it.
Wow.
The funny thing for us is if I'm honest, some of the coolest designs that we've done have actually been for John for JCS Marine. Actually frustrating us at times because customers will come in and we'll be like, well, yeah, what do you want to do? What are you thinking design wise? And it seems like everything we do is just kind of plain, and everything John sends us seems like it's pretty over the top. So I don't know how he managed to get his customers to think out of the box a little bit, but we've really done some cool designs for John, and I'm sure you're putting the pictures up.
Yep. So we're pulling the pictures over right now. We're trying to at least to start pulling up the pictures.
The Purple Gambler comes to mind. We did a couple. What was it, about 2 or 3 years ago, wasn't it, John?
Yeah. Yep.
Black and purple.
Black
with the
and
diamonds.
purple.
I got it.
That wood grain bass cat too. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I would like to make a plug on that.
Lake Champlain on a pontoon boat too. That was in the brownwood grain.
I feel like we have the best wood grain option in the industry, actually. Our colors all the way through the material, and it really gives you a realistic wood grain look in either dark gray or like a medium gray. And then we even have a natural wood, which we put in that pontoon John was talking about.
So we're pulling up some of the pictures that John sent me a couple days ago, And this is like a pretty base option. Man, you guys do a lot of Phoenixes up there, but I guess everybody and their mom has a Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenixes are pretty popular.
But even how simple that is, it just looks so clean. It looks really, really awesome. And I mean, obviously you got the Phoenix logo and stuff like that. Now for logos, do you guys have to get like a thumbs up from the boat manufacturer in order to have to use that logo, or how's that work?
Yes and no. It depends on which brand you're talking about and what relationship that we have with them.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna pull up the pictures one by one, and none of us are IT people, so bear with us.
I am actually.
Paul's actually IT, so this should have been a lot better than it was.
I don't bring work into.
We
my
can see
outside
that.
life.
He said he fishes 4 days a week. We really need to be listening to him.
Yeah, right. Especially, dude,
I
I
don't
fished
fish enough.
I fished all day today on our local place, and like this is we probably got another 2 weeks of good fishing before it just gets too cold. But then again, it hasn't gotten cold, so who knows? Here's a Vexus. One of the Vexuses that is outfitted with Dura Deck. Man, that looks awesome too.
That looks freaking sweet.
Yeah, that is cool.
I like that.
What's your turnaround time for when you guys get an order? How quickly are you able to get it shipped out to either to John or to the customer?
It all depends on the complexity of the project, or whether templates need to go back or forth. But typically, once we have an approval or everything's set in stone, I mean, we'll have it out of here within 2 weeks in most instances.
We're checking out
good.
this gray and this red Vexus that we have up here right now, and I would rather have one that is fully Dura Decked myself, but I'm not gonna lie, just having some carpet up front and then a little bit of that Dura Deck design in the middle, that pops. It looks nice.
I mean, we talk about the Dura wrapper. That's what we talk about mostly, but you're probably showing pictures of. But I mean, the largest segment of our business is doing just cockpits and cooler lids, or your pads on your boat. Like you said, you have a Skeeter. What model Skeeter do you have?
I have a ZXR 20.
Okay, so the ZXR, like we make the gunnel pads that go on that uncarpeted area behind.
You do?
Hold control.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely need those.
Yeah, so we'll have guys, call up and they just want to get rid of the cockpit. So we'll do the cockpit, and that first step area, we'll do the Dura wrap on that third step, that right in front of your center locker, and then bow pad, all your foot pads, and kind of replace all that. So you do get that contrast of carpet. You get the benefits of the product in the kind of the most common area that people have problems with, and then, still keep your carpet everywhere else.
I'm definitely interested in that. That's like aesthetically, that's one of the only thing I don't like about my boat.
It doesn't make any sense why they didn't go ahead and
Right? Why didn't they just carpet it? Right? It might make everything match, and all it does is just get dirty, and it's another place for me to have to clean every time I pull the boat out of the water. So yeah, I've seen. I saw another person who had been making some of those gunnel patches, and definitely interested in doing that and the cockpit, just because it's so hard to keep that cockpit carpet dry. Interesting. Yeah.
I ain't worried about it anymore. It's just not. It's not cooperative.
Yeah, we're messing with the pictures, and it's like very
Didn't even
weird.
do it again.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's because of the file, maybe because it's not a JPEG. I have no idea.
Because I just copied it. I just copied the file path into it, and it worked.
Interesting. We need to figure out how to in an easier way pull the pictures over and stuff like that. But then no, that's awesome. So I guess what was the first boat that you guys did? Like how long ago was that? Was that in 2018 or
Full boat, like the bass boats that we're talking about?
yes?
That was right before the Greenville Classic, I guess. Kind of when I came up with the idea, we were actually doing a Skeeter cockpit here in house of 20i, and they got that little cooler kind of in the step up area, and so we tested it out on the lid, just in that cooler area, and it worked out. So a buddy of mine had a 2019 Ranger 175, his buddy since high school, and he backed it in here and let us tear it apart and try it out. And I mean, that was maybe 3.5 years ago. So, yeah.
So Russ, what made you decide that you wanted to make Dura Deck a full-time thing? Like, when did you decide that, like, this is what I wanted to do? And what did you do before you did Dura Deck?
So I actually come from a carbide tooling background, 22 years manufacturer's rep. In the latter part of my tooling career, I called on large manufacturers, cabinet manufacturers, panel processing, some of the largest plants in the U.S. So CNC was kind of my thing. I knew how to tool them up, knew how to make them run. And, like I said, we started out the show it was extremely frustrating to not be able to get the product for my boat. So I did source some material, and we started playing with it once Aaron came back from Los Angeles, and we got in the shop and we started trying to figure out how to fabricate it. Being honest with you, it's not easy. Even with all my tooling background and all of my fabrication experience, we had a bit of a learning curve. And then, once we figured that out and we saw it, if I'm honest with you, man, I did this out of my garage and worked a full-time job for almost 2 years. In fact, when we moved into this building, the first 5,000 square feet, I was still traveling nationally as a national accounts manager and trying to, juggle both, while Aaron stayed here and took care of the day-to-day and saw over the production. So I've only been full-time in it, about 2 years now, that I was able to walk away from my job and become a millionaire.
That's super cool.
That's the goal.
It's gotta be a good feeling.
Right.
John
That's
knows.
cool, man.
John knows.
That's fantastic.
It just got a little bit easier to become a millionaire. What was that?
For some, but not for me. I've been in the Army for almost 5 years. It's longer than that, but I've been. It's Michael Vick's house. Got a dog fight going on.
That is not what's happening.
No, they just play. It sounds like a fight, but they're just. But anyway, I've been in the Army I commissioned in 2020, but I was at military college for a long time, and it's like for me, that's what I'm going to do for my whole life, because it's not super hard, but it's also not boring either. I could never take a risk like you guys do. So,
Tony, what's your favorite flavored crayon?
The brown one.
Well, that's Marine.
It looks like dirt. So, are we keeping track? So, you guys are on your first shop. John's on his fourth shop or third?
Third, about to be the fourth.
About to be the fourth.
How are you going to take all that charm from where you're at now and convert it over to the next place?
You just need more space.
Are you guys going to what about the buildings next to you? Could you could you buy those compounds out, or are they not for sale?
They're not for sale, but we're literally moving about 150 feet across the parking lot.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So that one was for sale.
That almost sounds kind of annoying.
It won't be when it's done.
Hell yeah. No, good for you guys. That's awesome.
So, Russ, have you and Aaron ever made it up to JCS? Because when I pulled up in May, I was like, oh my God, this place is huge. Dude, it was cool as hell. Just like, because in the back line, like behind the shop, there's like 50 boats and there's like 3 bullets. And I'm like, oh, I want all of them. Like, I want all of it. But
It's like Tony's toy store.
Pretty much. Well, the fastest bullet there was a 20XD that had an Evinrude Ficht on it. It probably only ran one time, but when it ran, it was fast.
I own that motor. I know what you're talking about.
I did too, and I blew mine up twice. It was not fun.
The only problem with those motors is if you run them, they blow up.
Yes.
The only problem with those motors is if you own one.
Right. Yeah. So other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? But yeah, I tell you what, when it ran, it was fast. It was a fast motor when it ran. That one time it ran.
Oh yeah, your boat was a lot faster with that boat.
It was a lot faster with the FIC. I repowered with an E-Tech. All right, easy dogs. I repowered with an E-Tech.
Get out. Get out.
Evicted. I repowered with an E-Tech, and it's definitely a better motor, but it is. I mean, it's not as fast. Like it's a 2 to 3 mile an hour difference for sure. For sure. And that was with the Lightning lure unit. The FIC was faster with the old Magnum 1 or whatever they came with. But yeah, it blew up every 5 seconds.
No, just like once a year.
Well, it was like, so it's on par with the G2.
No, that's like 3 times a year.
Oh, okay. So what's on your boat? You said you got the 520 Intercoastal. I'm Mercury Yamaha.
I do have the Yamaha, my first 4-stroke, and Yamaha. I did have it flashed to 332 horsepower,
Hell yeah. We just had our buddy Kevin do that.
and it's game changing. I mean, it's awesome.
Which tune did you go with? Did you go with Niz Pro or?
Oh man, you're gonna put me on the spot.
Or the
John, who did I go with?
Don't put me on the spot because I can't remember.
I could make a plug for him. He's a super nice guy. He's out of Dalton, Georgia. I didn't go Niz Pro. There's a gentleman up north of Atlanta in Dalton who does it. I want to say, what was it, like $400, John?
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Hell no.
What?
6 and change.
6 and change. Yeah, that's about that's same as what our buddy just paid. It seems to be like pretty much the standard price everywhere.
It's worth it all day.
I can't. I wish I could. I can't.
You just can't tell anybody.
Yeah,
Or
but then,
you fail a polygraph.
Yeah.
But Jacob Wheeler fails polygraphs all the time. Nothing happens to him. So
Yeah, but I don't make people as much money
He
as Jacob Wheeler
said,
does.
he said, oh, they said it.
You know, if I made people as much money as Jacob Wheeler makes people money, I wouldn't have to worry about polygraphs either.
fair point.
Just saying.
You could flash the XP by putting a 300 on the back.
You should have just bought a Yamaha so you could flash it anyway.
Yeah, our buddy Kevin, who never comes on the show.
Anymore.
Shade?
No, it's not shade. I'd say it right to him. You don't ever come on anymore.
True.
But he just had Nizpro do his show on the back of his Skeeter, and he said he noticed a lot of gains in the low to mid end.
But
so he's also only been running it for about like a day now too, or 2 days.
And it's not propped correctly.
Yeah, it's not propped correctly either right now. So that'll make another huge difference.
The top end should be a big difference when he's propped right.
Yeah, even with it not being propped right, I think he said he had it to 77 today, which is about a 5 to 6 mile an hour gain.
That's fast for a Skeeter.
And that's not even propped.
And he
right.
said that was at the rev limiter. And he said he can definitely go more prop.
Ripped all the carpet out too.
What's that?
It would go faster if you ripped that heavy carpet out.
True.
Probably.
True story.
It is a what is it? What is that? A 2018, 2016? I think it's a 2016 or 2018 FX20. So 77 mile an hour is scooting for a 2018 FX20.
Oh, yeah.
They were.
Hell, I'll have 1,000 RPMs left at the tank at that speed, probably.
Maybe. I don't know.
Is your motor carbureted or is that fuel injected?
It's fuel injected.
It is fuel. So, but so you can't flash it, or you can.
You can't, but you don't have to, because it's a
That's a
250
John.
XP.
That's a John.
That is a
question
good
right there.
question for John.
How do you hop up a 250 XB?
I mean, there's no warranty on it, so you might as well just
Could.
put the beans to it.
I'll learn how to drive it first.
John, you hear that? Full permission to just put the beans to that motor.
We
Bass
gotta
and Beer
adjust-
Radio approved.
Got to adjust your budget a little bit, Tony.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Well, let's talk about it.
So I actually saw something
I'll be
interesting.
Tony's financial advisor.
I saw some, yeah, because
Not me,
it's
don't-
not your money.
Better not be me. I'm terrible with money. I have
saw-
a brand new Skeeter
Yeah,
sitting in my
Paul
driveway.
would put a supercharger on it.
Yeah. I saw something interesting about XBs and EFIs the other day where it said you can actually like drill a hole in the cowling and it gives you miles per hour because it helps with airflow. Have you guys heard anything about that?
I'm sure it works, but why mess with it?
Right. Now I will. There's a guy that in our local series up on Conowingo that runs a stroker, and he has an XB, but the cowling looks like a Pro Max. I was wondering, like, I've never seen that before. Is that a thing, or is that just a hodgepodge job?
The motor is stroked.
No, so there was a few guys making lightweight carbon fiber
The
cowlings
built
for. I don't even know if they're still in business.
In terms of, because now I guess we're kind of getting into speed a little bit. In terms of like go fast boats between Bullet, Allison, and Stroker, where does Stroker fall? Because there's none around hardly, so it's hard to it's kind of even hard to talk about them at times.
I've only ever seen like 2 in person.
Yeah.
We see a bunch of them down here on our river.
Do you
Yeah.
really?
Strokers?
Strokers are more of a southern thing, I feel like.
There's a guy I see at the boat ramp all the time. I never talk to him, but he pulls in. He's got his truck stroker wrapped, and I see him meeting other people and running the river quite often. Actually,
That's awesome.
At a quite quick pace.
Even Allison, you don't see Allison up here.
There's
There's
few.
a handful.
There's a handful.
One or
out
two.
there.
Very little bit of Allison. I also feel as though that's a more southern boat as well.
I know 4 or 5 people.
They're
that
made
have
in Tennessee,
Allison down
right?
here.
Really?
Allison's in Tennessee, I think.
I think the biggest thing with Allison, you don't see a whole lot of them because they're stupid expensive.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, not compared to like bass boats now, but
Whatever
I mean,
happened with
everything
the
now-
ballistic boats thing?
oh yeah,
There
I
was
know.
some weirdness going on with it. Was
John, you got some insight on that, my brother?
They're still building boats.
They're still making boats?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Jeez.
kind of.
now
For
where does
for some people?
yeah, right, for some and others.
Wait, is it the ballistic boat?
That's the one that Lee Livesey was supposed to run until like the week before the Elite Series started. He didn't have a boat, and they were like, sorry. It's like, what? So then he got into a Phoenix, and I think he
Okay.
still runs a Phoenix, does he not?
Is
No, he's
ballistic
running
the
Express
one?
now.
Is ballistic
okay.
the one that's trying to achieve like 120 miles an
No.
hour on stock 250 or something like that? Something ridiculous.
I don't even know who
No,
could do that.
that's
Not
probably-
120. That's crazy.
That's
but
usually the fight between Bullet and Allison.
I feel like ballistic boats is trying to do something like that right now. I saw something recently. It's just not on the top of my mind right now.
Ballistic's just building probably the best hand-built boat out there, period.
Yeah.
Really?
You know, you
Remember,
got money to give them a call, get one ordered.
we talked to Andy Hauser one time, and he was working on it, and they were drilling one for a new jack plate or something, and he said they went through like eight bits just trying to drill through it.
We've been there. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Have you
so-
guys seen an Icon
That's a
in your
well-made
shop
boat.
yet?
Yeah.
I have not. No.
So like, all right, and I'll be the
I have
first
yet
one
to
to
see
say
one of those in person.
I'll be the first one to say I'm not a fan of Icon because the price tag is ridiculous. But
I mean, the new model they have is reasonably priced. Like they want,
Yes.
it seems
Yeah.
like
it's
they launched
comparable to everything
They
else.
launched their flagship, like top of the line, BS. Like Bass Cat has a Jaguar that's $140,000. Like they launched this other, but the only difference is the Bass Cat actually goes more than 65 miles an hour.
yeah, right.
But
That's
anyway.
what Daddy Trump takes when he goes bass fishing.
But
What, the Icon?
they released their released
The
their flagship
Jaguar.
model that has all the bells and whistles on it, and now they come out with like their standard model that was the same as like every other bass boat that's out there, and it's comparably priced. So
Does it run faster than 65 miles an hour?
probably not.
I just don't like how it looks like a shoe. Like it's narrow and then it gets wider.
does
So
money
they did that for
equate to speed?
they did that for a reason, right?
What's the reason?
So
Is it for like ride and
no,
stuff?
Jacob Wheeler helped design it. It's for boat flipping fish.
What?
What?
So he had them narrow where the consoles are.
Right.
So because when you're boat flipping a fish, you're boat flipping them into the center of the boat, so that you have less gunnel to hit on the fish.
Doesn't he fish MLF?
They boat flip everything?
Oh yeah. I was okay.
Yeah. So that's
yeah,
that was part of that was designed for boat flipping fish, so that there was less gunnel in the way for boat flipping.
Whoever burped, that's nasty.
That was not.
That
me.
was the dog.
It had to be the dog.
Ooh.
Chad's dog, like,
It's
is
nasty. It's just
Yeah.
nasty.
It doesn't even smell like a fart though. It smells like it came out of somebody's stomach.
that's the dog. That's where it starts.
But I mean, Icon they have some really cool features. They're just not worth $150,000.
Well, okay, it's like now we're gonna get into the discussion of like bass boats and all that crap.
Well, no, we're not. We're gonna talk about Dura Deck.
Well, yes, but again,
We're gonna talk about Dura Deck on a bullet.
that yes. My last shot on an Icon, because I have to get it in, is why do I need a system to inject G-juice in a live well when I can just do what everyone else does, squeeze it, oh, yep, it's at the line, and then dump it in.
So it's all about efficiency. From a top
You
level
have to
pro,
put your rod down to do that.
from a top level pro, every break that they're taking, every cast, if you're fishing for $100,000, $200,000, like the more casts that you can make, the more your odds are going up.
It's crazy. I say it's crazy. I'm sorry.
Even if you're not a pro, do you need that? No.
No,
But does anyone need a Ferrari?
no.
No.
Fair.
Do I want a Ferrari? Absolutely.
Send it.
You could pull your boat with a Ferrari, maybe.
I imagine this is a pretty, I don't know. I think I know the answer to this already, but either way, has there been a speed difference in a boat when you are replacing carpet with Dura Deck? Is it lighter? Is it more aerodynamic? Does the wind not catch the fibers of does the wind catch fibers of the carpet more than the smoothness of the Dura Deck? Is there a speed difference?
It's just lighter, so you're gonna gain speed.
Okay.
How much lighter? Do you have like an idea?
Give you a rough idea. Shipping weight on a 30-foot roll of carpet, which typically we go through on the top side of a 20-foot or 21-foot boat, is around 82 pounds. Now add your glue to that. Even if we call it 90, the shipping weight on a full boat of Dura Deck is right around 14 pounds.
Whoa!
Really?
No way!
That's
really?
a huge difference.
So you figure
Wow.
That's
So
a
that's-
big difference.
that's a 70. Let's call it a 75-pound difference. Most
And
of
a
that
lot of
weight's on the front. So
Hi, Monica. Thank
probably
you for
2/3.
joining us.
So
I
that's-
did not know that's that big.
That's
a difference.
taking like 50 pounds out of the front of the boat, give or take, something like that.
I mean, yeah,
If you
that's
Carpet out of the compartments, the rod lockers,
And that's
Yeah.
dry carpet
and that's the weight of dry carpet.
Right.
The guy said,
without sand. in
that
it,
stuff
once
gets
it's
wet,
brand new.
and no matter how clean you keep a boat, if it's brand new or not, we pull that carpet off, and there is dirt, packed in dirt under that carpet.
Oh, for sure.
I did not realize. I did not expect the difference to be that
yeah,
big.
no, I wasn't.
It's a huge
expecting that.
difference.
So, like, I'm really happy I just
Interesting.
asked that question. That is
Wow. Yeah.
that's a huge difference actually.
Yeah. Yeah, like Jim said, that's like the difference between swapping an AGM to a lithium. We talk about how big of a difference that makes. I mean,
And guys, I know I did ask you a question earlier about thickness of the foam, but what thicknesses are actually offered? Can you go from a 2 millimeter to a 10 millimeter? What do they have? Like, what is actually offered?
I mean, we typically go in. Base is 6 millimeter. We can do 6, 9, 12,
Okay,
15, 18.
you stack it on top of each other for the thickness that somebody wants. Is that how that
I
works?
mean, no, I mean it's a little easier, a little bit more complicated than that. Essentially, yeah. I mean, the material is getting thicker, and at some point by doing that, but it's not. We're not just taking 2 sheets and sticking them together and sending it to you. It's heat laminated and it's manufactured at that thickness.
Okay, I got you.
and what's
Right on.
what's the standard the standard thickness that you're
Standard would be 6 millimeters.
6 millimeter?
That's what you're seeing on any pictures that we're pulling up now, or any cockpit mats that we've done.
Okay.
Rarely will we do like a triple color, or if you see like a triple color, like you mentioned on that Express you fished in, might have had 3 colors on it. I think they do a lot of that. That's typically around 9 millimeters.
Okay.
So, like, like a, all right, I'm just, to do like a Rasta theme.
Oh my god.
So you want to do like a Rasta theme type deal. That is something that's in the, it's in the works. You can do something like that.
Oh yeah.
That's tight. That's pretty cool, actually.
You would.
Take it easy.
More importantly, you can do old school duck hunting camouflage.
We can do duck camouflage.
That's
Whoa, that's the seller right there. Let's go.
All I want is that dark gray ocean blue with that topo pattern and a Skeeter logo on it, and I'm good.
Hey, this guy knows what he wants, John. Sign him up.
Right.
I gotta say, a lot of the work that you guys have done that I've seen, where, even specifically like that cockpit area that you said that you guys do a lot, adds so much character to a boat, in my opinion. To just even do the cockpit, remove that carpet, have that Ranger logo or your Phoenix logo down there near your feet where you step all the time. I think it really adds a nice element to a boat. It looks really, really nice, and that's also a place that's your low spot in your boat as well. So you're going to have water collect in your lower spots of your boat.
Yep.
Obviously, you have drains,
that's
and that is
exactly
a
what I was
place
saying
that you
earlier.
want to have
Right.
good traction and no water buildup.
How was your? I have a question because this came up with somebody who put an EVA foam. It was actually from Basscat that he ordered it. He said, last winter he wasn't thinking about it. It had rained the day before, so it was a little damp, and it froze. It got cold at night, and it kind of froze over. And he said it was really slippery. Is that common, or do you have like a method of fixing that, or is it?
It can definitely happen. I mean, water freezes on concrete. So, but with the compression, it should break up fairly easy. And I have had one experience with it personally that it did. But I can tell you this: it's a lot easier to manage than once carpet gets frozen. So it's funny. It's funny. A lot of the first questions a guy asks, like, "Does it get slick?"
Yeah.
No. I mean, it's designed with a texture for that non-skid surface, but the compression also plays a lot into that. So your body weight compressing that material adds a lot to that non-skid effect. But I fished a tournament back in the '90s. And a similar instance where it lightly rained and the carpet got wet and it froze overnight. And man, I can't think anything slicker. I mean, it was slick.
Yeah.
So we battled that all day long.
So we have a question from one of our listeners here who is a John boat builder. Built some awesome John boats from down kind of headed down your way. Not quite as far down. I think he's in northern or southern Virginia. But Matthew
Matt Downs from Trick Tins.
Trick Tins, and he wanted to know if you offer ghosting with the CNC Dura Deck. I'm not quite sure what he means, but
so he's saying basically to pattern or cut a design just into that first 3mm layer versus cutting all the way into the second layer, just to create kind of a third effect. I believe you can get that's what he's referencing. I don't know that I've heard it as ghosting, but
I mean, he's like young. He's like our age, so, or he's like my age anyway.
But it sounds like you got some 10 guys.
We have those.
And I'll say this: no boat benefits more from this product than an aluminum boat. I mean, don't get me wrong. We get the guys virtually every week that, hey, I want to do the whole boat, and we kind of talk about design and colors, and we quote it out, and they get sticker shock. I didn't pay that much for the boat. We hear that sometimes, but it is a time-consuming process. Everything has to be digitally scanned. From there, we make actual drawings. Once the drawings are made, we actually dry fit or cut templates, so that we ensure the fit on everything. And then from there, you're back to the computer once you have that all dialed in. Then it's time to spend, a few hours in just design. And once we get everything designed and get it approved, if you take, for instance, a bass boat application, a Dura Wrap, where you want to do the entire boat, we have multiple CNCs, but you know, that one boat's going to top that CNC for a day and a half. So you're talking
12 hours.
yeah, 8 to 12 hours machine time. Once we get all the components cut, you know, then we're ready to install. And when it comes to wrapping the lids, like our patent pending Dura wrap process does, you know, it's another full day and a half to get the install. It takes us 6 days to do a boat. Now John's probably John's probably a little faster in his shop, but he has a great team, and this is what they do day in and day out. We don't necessarily, you know, remove carpet and glue and prep and do all that stuff. That's not really what we do. We do 3D digital scanning. We do AutoCAD, drawings, design, and CNC machine is what we focus on.
Okay. Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, it looks like you guys are doing some really, really cool stuff. Just browsing around on your website, you got some cool designs in there. It's definitely something I'm going to look into over the winter for that cockpit area.
Oh yeah, are you guys potentially considering or just considering going to ICAST and just expanding the business a little bit? I know ICAST is like the show. Or just fishing shows in general. I've kind of made it a little.
Hasn't been that big. It wasn't a big this year.
I made it a little bit of a personal mission, and we've been talking with Jim Fallon on here about getting Andy Hauser from Team Marine and John and the crew from JCS some visitor passes for ICAST 2025.
I was not joking about that.
No,
I'm serious.
I have talked
Dead
to Jim.
serious.
We do have a way forward with that, which is the lead time is obviously like almost 8 months at this point. But is that something you guys are looking to do to you know, bring the product and get it in front of more and more people?
You know, if I'm honest with you, Aaron and I went down and had a great time. We went down and spent a couple of days at ICAST 2024.
Okay.
And, you know, to take a look around and man, I mean, what a great show.
Oh, it's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, tell us about your experience.
Well, we saw some great new products. Some of them very intriguing. And as I say that, I'm thinking about one in particular. We met two gentlemen from Asia that were able to take the forward-facing sonar technology and put it on an iPad, an iPhone, any really
I saw that.
device. I thought that was kind of game changing, or could be.
Yeah. I heard some things about that looked like a pretty interesting concept.
Yeah,
I mean, it would
don't get
basically
me wrong,
broadcast to everyone. So
Maybe I should lead with that, but I got to tell you, I mean, when I walked away, I thought I had met two guys that really had some game changing technology that could change it for everybody. Now, whether they can get it to market is yet to be seen.
oh,
But
Yeah, I mean, you gotta fight patents,
it's a great question. But the way that show is geared for the retailer, I really don't know if that's our venue or not. We are considering IBEX. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but that's a show in town in the fall every year that is geared more towards boat manufacturing.
Gotcha.
yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, no. Well, ICAST. I mean, to get in the door is relatively inexpensive if you do the 3 days, but to get a booth is insanely expensive. And you're right. It is more of a fishing show and not so much of a boating show. So I think you guys you're correct. Now, I will tell you, I don't know what the cost is to get in, but in our neck of the woods in February, and I don't know if it's too late for you guys to get in, the Great American Outdoor Show. It is the largest fishing, boating, hunting expo in the world. I mean, it will take you 4 days to go through the whole thing.
It's in the state of Pennsylvania, but the state of Maryland.
There's so much.
And PA, there's so much boating that goes on. There's so much waterfront and boating that happens in this area, in this state. Have you guys done any shows or anything in this area with the popularity of boats?
No, we haven't done anything in that area. I mean, we ventured out to Bassmasters Classic last year. We actually found a wrecked Ranger 521L and cut it in half and wrapped the front deck and went out there, exposed the product. But no, we haven't made it up there, but definitely something we'll look into for sure. We have a lot of great business that comes from up in that area.
I will say that in the Maryland area, it's more
inshore type of thing.
It's more inshore pleasure boat and more watermen than there is bass fishing. For some reason in Maryland is not that popular. I guess it's a small state. We don't have a ton of bass fishing available here, but if you're just focusing on bass boats, it might not be. But if you're looking to expand to like any of the other like more pleasure boat type stuff, like that's, I mean, definitely this is definitely like a really good area.
I mean, how many million people go to the outdoor show every year? It's like over 2 million people go through that show every year. It is massive. It's like 4 or 5 convention center buildings. I mean, you're walking like this the whole time.
I never see too much on boating up there though.
They have
like one area.
Yeah, they have an area for.
They had a decent sized area, but
the fishing area sucks now.
The fishing area has not been great, I will say. But the hunting area is ridiculously huge. But I definitely think it might be worth. And it's in February. I don't know the dates, and it's a pretty quick flash to bang. I mean, it's like 4 months out. But maybe not this year. But it's definitely something. I mean, you could get in front of a lot of people. For sure. I mean, it would be insane. I mean, print out 10,000 business cards, you'll probably get rid of them all. It is insane how many people go to the show. So just something to put on your radar. It might be worth it. Might help you guys out.
Definitely. I'm not aware of it.
What state are you guys based out of again?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Yeah. Oh man. So
southeastern North Carolina.
Yeah, it would. I think there would definitely be a huge market for you guys up here. Huge market.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and
when they do that Tiki Lee shootout and everything every year up here, I mean, the amount of boats that are up here is ridiculous.
There's a huge market in like cigarette boats up here. Like,
and cigarettes.
That style. It's insane how many of those are. I mean, just at our local little, public ramp, any given weekend during the summer, there's 4 or 5, just insane like cigarette boats
35-foot,
triple axle.
Cigarette boats, triple axles,
taking up all the damn parking.
Still not as fast as the
dual big block 450s or whatever in them. They're just huge.
Yeah, they just take up all our parking.
Bob, shut up.
But yeah, no, I think you guys. I would love to see Dura Deck become a household name in this area because I think the business opportunity up here is endless. Yeah. I mean, the majority of the boats up here that we see are like Carolina skiffs, Boston whalers, stuff like that.
Finding somebody who does just meet
good
somebody
who
does good work in this area to offer a product like this in this area. We don't really have anything up here. We have some people, and I've seen the work they do, and it's not great. So
yeah,
and the products they use are.
I do definitely
Amazon
think
specials.
that the Dura Deck or the EVA, the foam market in this area hasn't been fully tapped into yet
at all, and I don't think it's.
I would definitely think. I mean, it's going to look good on any boat you put it in. It's going to look good in center consoles. It's going to look good on cigarette boats with some half-naked chick laying on it on the back, obviously.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to look good on John boat builds. Obviously, it looks fantastic on bass boats.
Mm-hmm.
It's the foam, from my opinion, having it on my John boat, which is my beater boat that I abuse.
That is for sure.
I abuse the shit out of it. I'll never go back to carpet. It's the best thing I've ever done. And going forward, if I ever had to do a new decking on my boat, I would be going to Dura Deck. There is no doubt about it.
I would say, like, if I was building a John boat or an aluminum boat, that 100% I would go that route.
Yeah.
That's music to our ears, isn't it, John?
Say that one more time, sir.
That's music to our ears.
Yes, sir. It's
John froze again.
Yep, John's frozen.
John's frozen.
I thought he was being awful still.
Right?
And they're gone.
And it's gone.
Every time you guys have disconnected, I don't know if you guys ever watched South Park, but you guys disconnected twice, and Tony was like, "And it's gone." It's funny, but glad to have you guys back. We'll have to figure out what's going on with John. But yeah, the Dura Deck EVA foam, it's game changing. It is the future. They just disconnected,
And it's gone. I'm going to send Adam the gift from Frozen.
It is definitely the future, and
I'm excited to get some in the scooter.
I think it's going to change your whole opinion on
I've fished off
carpet
boats.
and everything.
I've fished off boats with them. I'm not a huge fan of it on the front deck. Mostly, I mean, I have padded carpet too, and my padded carpet's been way softer than any boat that I've been on with EVA in it.
Jim Fallon says EVA foam is good to help with fatigue.
Absolutely. Knees
Also,
and back.
And
it's a brand new boat. I'm not changing a carpet yet.
I would, I would be interested to know, have you guys dealt with people on a professional level of bass fishing?
Yeah, I mean, we've
Not ready.
we do some stuff for Angler's Choice.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. They're huge.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we've done some cockpit mats for their, some of their pros, and then we do these pads for the 520Rs that cover like where you would mount your removable console, and we typically do those for Matt Array and Brian Thrift's new boats with their signatures and stuff on them. I mean, so yeah, at that point, when we first started out, we sponsored Taylor Watkins, who won 2 or 3 MPFL.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
I know
hell
who Taylor
yeah.
Watkins is.
Come on.
And my dad's still pretty close with him, so.
That's a great story, actually, because I told you I was in tooling sales, and I was in South Alabama doing some product testing, new product development, and we were working with, I guess I can say, we were working with Fastenal, and Taylor was, fresh out of college. It was pretty much his first job, and he had the sorry job to follow me around for a couple of days while we went and tested some things, and he told me, he said, I'm going to be a professional bass fisherman. And at that time, I had been out of fishing for quite a few years. Aaron and his sister were both were very good athletes and played multiple sports. So I was out of the game for a bit. And, years later, he was on my Facebook. And years later, all of a sudden it pops up that, he's got this camper in the back of a truck, and he's got a boat, a skeeter hooked to the back of it, and he's saying he's heading off to his first professional bass tournament, the NPFL. And I thought, wow, I mean, he doesn't have his boat wrapped, you know what I mean? He doesn't really have any, I couldn't really see much going on there. So, I sent him a message and said, hey, I know you're busy, got a lot on your mind, just, hit me up when you get back. And he did. And we were able to reach an agreement for us to help him out for the remainder of the year, and then we paid to wrap his boat for the exposure. And man, you just couldn't have written a better story. The guy was finishing in the money every tournament, and I'm sure you guys know how NPFL is structured. I mean, the payouts, pretty generous for that top 25%. And I thought he was doing well, and I complimented him and told him how well I thought he was doing it. And he said, man, he goes, I got to win one. I mean, I have to win one. And I thought he was being a little tough on himself. And, he not only did he win one, he won 2 back-to-back.
I remember that.
At the end of the season. And then started off the next season and won the first tournament of the year.
That's awesome.
Year as well. So, if I'm being honest with you, Taylor kind of outgrew us really quickly. But it was so awesome to have that experience with him and to have an opportunity. I mean, he really did help expand the brand of Dura Deck in a really short period of time, and just had a lot of success.
That's awesome. So you mentioned that you got out of fishing. First you and then the guys at JCS, like what level, like how competitive did you get with fishing when you were still in that game?
You know, when I was in my 20s, I had aspirations. The kids were small at that time. Aaron has a sister, Allison, and you know they were small. They weren't yet into sports and that sort of thing. And I chased it really hard. It was Operation Bass, who back then was known as Redman.
Yep.
And so, I fished the Redman, a couple different divisions. I would typically try to start out with multiple divisions at the end, at the first of the season, and the ones I tanked, I would drop those and try to roll with the division that I was doing better in. And when I see guys that are raising families and still chasing that dream and having that level of success, I have a tremendous amount of admiration for them because the game itself is extremely hard, but then to be a husband and a father and everything else that is really more important than going out and chasing that trail it's amazing to me. I mean, I kind of stood there, but when my kids hit that age and it was time for ball games and that sort of thing, I was all there. I mean, I went all in and don't regret it a bit. But the funny story to that is, the day I sold my bass boat, I told the wife, I said, when the kids are out of college, I'm going to buy another boat. And she said, sure. And ironically, my youngest had been out of college about 2 years before Tim Cook, who is the conservation director for BASS out in Texas, was also a customer of mine. He kept inviting me to come out and be a judge for the Toyota Texas Fest. Mm-hmm. And I turned him down for a couple of years, and then finally I said, I think I will come out and do it. And so the first day, and I had not been in a bass boat in many years, I drew Keith Pochet.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
And up on Lake Travis. And Keith was, if I remember correctly, was in the top 15. He had a 7-pounder the first day. Travis had been down for about 3 years to the point some pretty good saplings and stuff were growing, along the banks. And then the lake had I think within just 3 or 4 months, had come back to full pull. So, I mean, those guys were having a ball. And he was throwing a Bubba rig, and it wasn't long before he got hung up. And, those guys, they don't mess with him. He just, boom, snapped it right off. And I thought I saw him press on the trolling motor, and I heard a beep. And then, of course, as he sits down and starts to retie, the boat kind of swings around, and it just stays there. And I'm looking around, and finally I said, hey, is that trolling motor, is it holding us right here in spot? And he just kind of looked around and was like, yeah. And how's it doing that? And he looked at me like I was crazy. He said, GPS. And I said, oh, hell, I'm getting one of those. That trolling motor cost me $65,000 is the short story of it.
Right.
Yeah. The trolling motor cost you 60.
Right. $65,000 trolling motor that came with a free boat, right?
Yeah.
I came back and told the wife, walked in the door and said, I'm getting another boat. So, yeah.
Spotlight.
That's how
Change the game.
Spotlight changed, game changer.
So what about you guys, the JCS crew? What level of fishing, what's like the highest level of fishing you guys have done?
Just the BFLs.
Well, I mean, we know one of them got, almost died in a BFL.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
With a local from here, which is even funnier.
With a friend of mine.
Adam, we're really glad you didn't die.
Yeah, it was nice. I'm glad it wasn't freezing cold, so I had to go for a
So that boat was totaled, by the way.
It was.
That boat was that boat is no more. So, I guess, how does that happen, right? Like, I thought if you swamp a boat and you let
He lost power to everything.
Yeah, he lost complete power the whole time.
Well, but what I mean is if you swamp a boat, how does it become totaled at that point?
So, you had to think, all the wiring gets wet. So, all the wiring, all the wiring's been soaked.
Electronics.
It trashed the motor. The motor was totaled. So
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean that's half the price of the boat there.
Shoreline.
The motor turned into the Powerball.
Right.
For-
Plus the
Doesn't insurance
Yeah.
separate the engine from the boat though?
well they totaled the whole thing, but the boat was also like bouncing on rocks and stuff while they had it beached when they were trying not to die. So it did jack up the hull.
I
quite a
still
bit.
can't believe that happened with somebody that we know around here. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is.
Small world.
And I had a great day to start off too. Started off the day with a 5-pounder in the first half hour.
Were you guys able to let the fish out of the live well before the boat went down?
He weighed his fish in.
I had to go from one boat to another boat. Which
With
also
your
was
fish.
Yeah.
with my fish.
There's a picture. They had the picture with him in the net.
Go back with that boat, and it was like around 11 o'clock, I think. So I had to weigh my fishing early and sit there by myself with nobody around except for like the director or whatever until weigh-in at 3:30. I had no car, I had no food, so I walked to the nearest place to get a bite to eat, which took like 45 minutes to an hour to walk there and back.
So, who did you travel with? I guess you traveled with another who had his own
probably another
truck
boat, right?
or boat or whatever.
Everybody to the shop. Went with him, and then pulled. I think the guy's name was Dave for
Yep.
tournament, and it started off great, and then no big motor, and then the trolling motor were on it heavy, and then no trolling motor. So we were.
So what happened? Did the boat did you guys spear a wave or something, or did one just lost power and then it turned into something else?
There was a charging issue, yeah.
Apparently, it happened prior to before. So.
I didn't hear about it happening prior. I knew it happened.
Yeah, well, prior issues with charging.
I know he
We're
had.
still trying to get Russ and Aaron to come up here and meet us up at Lake Ontario for some smallmouth, but I think they're scared.
I'll come.
Uh-oh.
When
Yeah, right. Say when.
Lake Ontario is my favorite place on earth.
We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it soon. We're gonna make it soon.
Can we do that like next summer? We'll just all meet up.
Hell yeah. We'll hang on to Tony's bullet until then.
Deal.
Oh, see, that'll make it happen.
Then he won't have any excuses for not coming up there with me.
I went this year, not to Ontario. I went to St. Lawrence.
I feel like you need to keep
Same
your
shit.
Ranger
Why?
because we can just do hood rad shit with it.
No. You have a Ranger.
We can do hood rat shit with your Ranger.
Yeah, or your John boat.
Well, I mean, mine's a lot newer though. That's no, we can do hood rat shit with the John boat all day long.
So let's just use that.
We need to strap like a 115 to the back of it and then do it.
Yeah, that turns into an airplane at some point.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
You
no
ever seen
longer a
that?
boat.
You ever seen that video on Facebook?
I
of the
feel
guy?
like a 50 or a 60 on the back of my John boat. That thing would scoot.
If we
And
could-
it would offset the weight of the massively heavy wooden deck platform in the front of it.
Probably.
The 3/4 inch particle board for a deck.
What do you have on it now?
3/4 inch particle
What
board
do you have?
and 2
What
by
motor?
4s.
What motor do you have on it now?
It's a Yamaha 30.
30. Yeah, we go to a 50. You'll be fine.
It runs like perfectly level. It does not do this at all. I mean,
We'll throw a 50 on there. We'll call it a day.
that's what I'm saying.
A 50 tiller.
Oh, I want the tiller.
Yeah.
Mama didn't raise no bitch.
Hey, so I got a question. Since we're talking about boats and speeds, right? Do you guys follow John Blake Riddle on Facebook? He's got the. All right. Is he full of shit?
Come on.
Is he? Does he
Come
have
on.
the 105-mile-an-hour duck boat, or is that nonsense?
Couldn't tell you. I haven't seen him in person, but he's always in front when he races someone, so.
That's true.
I mean, let's think about it. It's a bullet
Is it it's a 20, right?
with a
20
300.
XT? Oh, it's a 300.
With a 300 4-stroke Merc with literally nothing in the boat. There's no carpet, no nothing. I mean, it even has like
It's spray
it's got
painted.
it's got mesh seats.
It like
It's got foldable mesh seat.
It
It's
de-
got to be light as hell. I wouldn't surprise me if it went 105.
it definitely
miles an hour.
hurt my feelings when I watched him spray paint that thing. I was like, oh my god, why? Like, what is it with people and trashing bullets? Like, is that a
Yours?
thing?
Yours was plastic.
Yeah, it was plastic. Even worse.
Yeah,
Plasti dipped
it
it.
is. It is. It's
No
horrible.
way.
Well,
Well,
isn't
you
that
obviously
what
gotta
was?
remove that.
Isn't that what was on the top cap of my boat? Was some garbage? Yeah.
The entire top cap, interior, shit. Your dash panels were covered in. Some of your gauges were plastic.
Yes. Oh, dude! The first time I crawled through that thing, and I was like, I think this boat's held together by silicone at this point. Like the amount of silicone that was in that boat was concerning. And yeah, like the first time I looked at the transom, I'm like, there's a lot of silicone on this transom. That's not good.
I remember the before he talked to you guys, and like he bought it, and he's like, yeah, I got the bullet, and it's fine. And then he took it out, and he was really super excited,
Oh, okay.
and he came back and
we
went,
just lost both people.
What?
oh yes we did. When you came back and said, I think I made a mistake.
We got him back now. But yeah, that's exactly how it went.
He gets I don't know if you guys caught that. Well, I'll repeat. So Tony gets super excited. He buys this bullet. He takes it out the first time. He's like, "Oh my god, this thing's so fast!" And then he takes it home and actually looks at it and just comes back and went, "Guys, I think I made a mistake."
This thing is a death trap. I just remember the first time I got it, when I started running it, and I started like actually putting some seat time in it, and I was running it like 75, and it's only got a 225.
And you experienced chine walk for the first time.
Well, no, the chine walk's not a problem. It's I hit like a wave, and I felt the hull move and the top cap not move, and I was like, it's like at this speed. I don't know about that. And I remember I actually called.
Like Tony's just driving. Next thing you know, his motor's over here.
I remember.
Completely separates from the top of the boat. It's like, oh, shit.
And when I went to drop it off, I told that to John. He's like, "Huh." And he gets up on the trailer and like grabs the top cap and starts shaking. He's like, "Yeah, that's not good." I was like, I was like, "Yep, there you have it."
I can completely remember Tony texting in to our group chat and just being like, well, I'm way in more than I thought I was going to be.
Yep. It was supposed to be a boat that I was going to... Hold on,
Thank you.
He was just gonna, he's like, oh yeah, I just bought this boat. I'm gonna spend a few $1,000s, get a new transom put on. I'm good to go.
No.
Wrong.
Yeah.
At least you sent it to the right place.
The second time. Well, that's what killed me is like as
You
soon
sent
as
it to somewhere first for restoration?
Not for
Just the
restoration,
transom.
for
and
Okay, okay.
John will tell you. I think that guy did a great job, right?
That was not a transom. But it was not a transom.
That was bubble gum and spray paint.
And hopes and dreams.
Yes.
And hopes and dreams.
Oh, that was that. I'm sorry, Tony. I didn't know about that.
That's all good. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like for a boat that is capable of that level. Well, because at that point, I was still in like I wanted to have a project to crawl through and have a beater and just maybe flip it or something.
Own a death trap.
Well, and then every time I would like open something, like the first time I crawled into the big storage, I'm like, subfloor is not connected anymore. That's well, shit. Like, there you have it.
Why did you do none of this before you bought the boat?
Well, because I didn't even buy the boat. I bought the motor and the trailer.
Essentially.
Yeah, I mean, I knew the transom was shot when I got it. I thought that I was like, okay, like a transom, whatever. Like, it's not too big of a deal.
Yeah, and then you take it out and run it, and the transom's doing the worm while you're going down the
The top cap was not attached to the hull.
Wait, at all?
I fully believe that.
Was the motor the only thing holding the tap cap on?
Pretty much.
I just imagine it going across the water. Just going,
I'm telling
He
you.
just has a layer of clear coat holding his entire boat together.
I'm telling you, when I was driving that thing, I
going down the water.
felt my feet move and my ass didn't, and I was like, "That's not supposed to do that. It's not supposed to do that at all."
Oh gosh.
Jesus, man. That's awesome.
That's fantastic.
But it worked out because, like, right around that time is when I saw the Purple Champion. I was
Yeah, it
like,
worked
"What
out.
is this? Like, look at this thing." Well, the funny thing of it is I think Champion Boats Instagram posts the Champion more than JCS does.
I'd give my left nut for that champion.
I think they post that at least once a week.
Oh yeah,
Somebody does, yeah.
as they should though. I mean, that thing is. So where is that boat located? Is it local to you guys or is it down south?
It's right around here.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Now I remember last time we talked, there was a guy when we had you on the first time from Texas.
Did that champion had Dura Deck in it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it sure did.
Full
So there was
What
somebody.
what is the percentage of boats that JCS does where the people go with Dura Deck with their restorations? Most
we
of them.
shoot-
Say that one more time.
Shoot for 100%.
100%. Yeah.
Well, you said full front to back. You said you were saying like what, like $2,000? Is that what you said?
No.
No. I'm sorry. I misheard you earlier.
Nope.
So what's it? Oh no, never mind. I'm thinking carpet. We had talked before, and you did say that it was more than carpet. I remember that now, but it wasn't
It's
like
more than carpet.
what's that?
It's a couple grand more than carpet.
Yeah. Okay. I remember. I remember that now. So it wasn't significantly more. I mean, it was significantly more, but not like so much more that like if I had the choice between the two, like I'd be like, oh no, hell with that. Like that's way too expensive. So I mean that's a reasonable. I feel like 100% is a reasonable goal when you tell somebody the price of doing carpet and the benefits of Dura Deck.
Do you see a large percent of people going to the Dura Deck and the EVA foam in the industry over the carpet now?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Well, it's
I mean, we see a lot of carpet jobs, but
Well, the thing of it is like a lot of these new boats, they come with the floor is all EVA now. Like it's like a standard
Yeah,
thing.
some of them, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the
Like,
cockpits.
Yeah, like Ranger. I don't even know if Ranger makes a carpet floor anymore on their new boats.
a lot of the stock cockpits in the newer boats, they have issues. They lift. The corners lift, centers lift.
Really?
Kind of comes back to what I said earlier with the EVA, PE. We were talking about hard and soft. A lot of those stock options tend to be like real heavy on the PE side, which is more prone to, it's more like a plastic and prone to like shrinkage and stiff. So as it
Becomes more
Okay.
brittle.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
I really hope we see Dura Deck like get a good deal with a boat manufacturer. I think that would be super cool. Like if you guys
Absolutely.
were to able to get with like a company like Blazer or Phoenix or someone to just like you guys were. I mean, what if I don't know if there's any boat manufacturers local in North Carolina, but it's like if they were to bring get Falcons in South Carolina. I mean, how cool would it be if Falcon brought you a boat with no carpet, no nothing, and said, "Okay, do your thing," or send us this many complete boat kits for the Falcon F-21 Predator. Like that would be super cool.
I think that's something that should be offered. I absolutely think that boat manufacturers, all boat manufacturers, I don't care who it is, from Tracker to Bass Cat, should offer a Dura Deck type of foam on their boats. And no matter what, if it's the increase in price, whatever, but every boat should all offer that as a secondary. Every one of them should. And honestly, I think it's wrong that they don't. And they're gone.
I think
Their GoPro just died.
Sounded like it.
Yeah.
Go for it. We're doing it. Go for it.
Well, we are
Yeah,
at
we
our
totally
2 hour break.
agree.
Yeah.
We totally agree. I mean, it should be an option, and there are enough anglers out there buying boats that want the product, and for most of the manufacturers, they just don't have it built in yet.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when I
Yeah.
bought, if that had been an option when I bought my boat, I probably would have went with it just to try it
Exactly.
out. I mean, I'm not opposed to having it. I like having carpet, and I've never really had any issues with carpet. But if I had had the option, I mean, I definitely would have looked into it. But it's just Skeeter doesn't have that option, so it is what it is.
They
Skitter.
should all have that option. All of them. It's the future. It's the way that things are going. It's straight up better than carpet. It just is. in my personal opinion, and I've used it for a while.
I like how soft my carpet is.
I like how soft my foam is.
So I have a half an inch of
And guess what?
padding underneath of it.
My feet and my ankles and my legs are worse than yours because I'm an idiot and I wrecked dirt bikes when I was a child.
And as an adult.
Yeah, I was an adult when I did that, actually. But still, I have arthritis in both of my feet, and I would rather stand on Dura Deck EVA foam than carpet.
What if your carpet has EVA padding underneath of it? Like mine does.
If it has Dura Deck underneath of the carpet, I'm cool with that.
Well, wouldn't it, it's not exactly Dura Deck, but it's EVA. I have EVA foam padding under mine. So it's definitely a lot nicer than
But you're okay, but
it's
you
different.
could still,
It's 100%
no matter what you
different.
wanted to do, you're still including an EVA foam.
Yeah, for sure.
Into your boat, which is making your ride and your fishing more comfortable
100%.
due to the EVA. If it wasn't for the EVA and was just straight carpet, it would not be the same.
Correct. I had straight carpet in my Champion, and I fish. If summertime and when the weather's nice and I'm out for 12 to 14 hours, yeah, it makes your feet hurt. Like, there's no padding. There's really no padding in carpet at all.
So earlier when I did bring up you guys, let me check on collab cam real quick. So earlier when I did bring up, hang on, literally as soon as I said that.
There we go. We got them back. We got them back.
They're back.
Outstanding.
So when I did bring up you guys being
I can't believe it says squirrel on the jersey. That's fantastic.
Sponsoring professionals. I asked that because professionals just spend a lot of time on their feet, and I was wondering what kind of feedback you guys were getting from people that do spend that amount of time on the water, standing on their feet, on the EVA, on the Dura Deck product compared to a carpet, and if they felt like they were getting more comfortable hours on the water compared to carpet.
I can't say that we've done a pros boat where in a full Dura system where we would be able to have that feedback. I mean, we have done some boats for people that do a tremendous amount of fishing, and one comes to mind. We have a guy, we did his boat, and he fishes partner trail, and they would go this boat, that boat, and just recently spoke with him, and he let us know that his partner don't want to fish out of his own boat no more. They're fishing out of his boat.
There you go.
That's good. That's good feedback. When somebody doesn't want to fish out of their own boat.
Yeah, these guys are 60. They're in their 60s. And he said, his partner didn't want to use his boat anymore. They fished out of his boat all the time.
So it had a lot to do with that fatigue point.
It was easier on his knees and his back. So
yeah. Had a lot to do with that fatigue point when you're getting a little bit older. Not saying that our good buddy is super old, but we have a good friend. His name's Matt Herron. He's been on the Elite Series for a long time, and I just I would love to hear what he says about EVA foam and the amount of time that he spent standing on a boat.
Which he's probably stood more on a boat than I've spent fishing.
Yes.
Period.
In your entire life.
Yes.
Probably in a year.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that's awesome. But
I would have to say foam is far safer in really rough water on the front deck than padded carpet.
Why so?
Your footing is very secure on the foam.
Okay.
If you fish a lot of rough water on padded carpet, you'll find your heels feel like they're sinking sometimes.
Yes. Yep.
You're not going to get that sinking feeling with this. It's cushioning, and it'll definitely save on fatigue, but you don't get that overly plush give under your feet that the padded carpet does.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I want to, it's and to that point, like it just makes you feel like you're off balance.
Right.
I just fishing 2 weeks ago. I was fishing a tournament, and wind was blowing hard, and I noticed that where I almost felt like I was rolling back on my heels.
My Blazer had the padded carpet in the front and the Ontario and 4-footers. I didn't enjoy it, not one bit.
Our buddy Jim Fallon, who's down in Florida, he fishes headwaters a lot. Obviously, it's headwaters. Jim Fallon does.
We fish there a lot. Mm-hmm.
So, but he spends 4 or 5 days a week on his boat. He says the next boat that he gets, he definitely wants to do EVA, and it's a lot better on his back and his knees. So we've made that connection.
Well, Jim, you know who to hit up.
You know who to hit up now, brother.
Who needs your next boat? Just send your boat to JCS and you're good to go. Like, they can get you set up.
I mean, yeah, you send it to JCS, it comes back completely redone, and it's got Dura Deck on it.
And the front cap's connected to the hull.
That usually helps.
Nice feature.
Which, by the way, I think 110% we should enter in the shootout next year.
Oh, we're going to win the shootout.
Yeah, we need to enter in the shootout next year.
What's the shootout?
We have to go to that.
You should come.
Say that
What
again.
is
It's basically a
boat race.
It's a top
drag
speed.
race.
It's a top speed boat race. So they just monitor
Yeah.
top. Yeah, they go completely on top speed. They have different divisions.
It's a bunch of boats that have freaking 500 horsepower motors on the back of them.
But they have
doing
like
races.
They have like a single outboard division.
A Bass Cat has won that one multiple times.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
sad.
Actually,
a
our buddy,
cougar,
actually,
right?
our buddy John Hansen
Yes.
won that.
Is it a
last
cougar
time.
or is it a lynx?
I think it's cougar.
Okay.
John Hansen with
East
Mobile
Coast
Auto
IV.
Solutions and
East Coast IV.
boat, and East Coast IV.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mobile
But,
brokers.
Yep, they'll come to you. Give them a shout. East Coast IV is great too, especially after the Tiki Lee shootout because you're going to be hammered drunk and be hungover the next.
But yeah,
day.
the Tiki Lee shootout, you should come because it's
I'll tell you what.
it's fun. One, it's fun. It's just a
Travis
bunch of people.
Pastrana comes every year if that tells you anything.
It's just a bunch of people driving boats really fast down here, and the single outboard division is kind of BS. Nobody there aren't fast boats in it.
Well, there is next year. It's going to be the JCS Bass and Beer Radio Bullet, and it's going to be taking that #1 position, baby.
Unless he brings that 20cc down with the 250-ish.
You stay in Rhode Island, John.
The 250-ish will destroy the 21 XTC. I mean, it'll still both be over 80 miles an hour.
250-ish.
80.
Well, the 20cc was a 100-mile-an-hour boat all day.
Yours better be over 80.
Oh, yeah. But I mean,
Yours
mine's
is gonna
loaded.
go over 80. I think it's more going to be how big are your balls than anything else.
And how can I drive it?
Well, exactly.
I mean, if you want to,
that comes down to it.
if you really want to flex your wiener, leave all your tackle in it and win it.
That's true. If you win it with all your tackle and everything in the front,
I mean, I'm not taking 10-foot Raptors off just to go win a shootout. So if I win it, it's going to win with the Raptors on too.
no. We're gonna drop those Raptors.
No, that's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, probably.
We're leaving the Raptors on.
You got to get the fold down bracket, so they just fold down and it's aerodynamic.
That and the Sportmaster lower. That's the next purchase.
So,
is the Sportmaster lower.
Speaking of your Raptors, they're still on your Ranger, right? Mm-hmm. So are you going to put those on yourself, or
Yeah, probably.
I thought you were selling them and putting a different pair on the Bullet.
or is that what you're doing?
I was thinking about putting 8s on it, but I already have the 10s, and I really like the 10s, so I'm just going to run it.
I would,
And it saves you $3,000.
if the 10s would have
$4,000.
fit in my garage, I would have gone with 10s. It just makes sense to go with 10s.
There's no reason not to. If the boat is for fishing, it's a plus that it's fast. So the 10s are staying.
I have spot lock. I don't.
I don't know. I like
I don't.
it.
Jim,
I spot
we
lock. I
appreciate
don't-
you
if
joining,
I'm in-
brother.
if
Thanks
I'm
for
in more than
tuning in
8
every week.
If I'm in more than 8 feet of water, I can just use spot lock. Like, it doesn't really make too much of a difference. I've ran into like
motor
one or
is
two.
definitely the trolling motor is confirmed to be one of the loudest components of the boat, other than the engine.
Mine's
obviously.
brushless.
Especially the Tour
Still,
Pro. The
It's
Tour
still
Pro is the
one of the
loudest because you
it's
got to
still
hit it
one
with a
of the
hammer to
loudest
get it to work.
things in the boat.
If you,
I know it's much more
you want to
quiet.
know how quiet.
Do you
it
know
is.
how amplified things are underwater?
Do you know it out of water? You cannot hear that running on 10. It does not make a sound.
Oh, I have a question. Since we're talking
crazy.
about trolling motors,
It's still louder.
because you guys are both been around the marine industry longer than me and Chad, maybe not Paul, but definitely longer than us. What's your guys' opinion on Motor Guide going under? Was that surprising to you? We'll start with you guys at Dura Deck, and then we'll go to John.
I just heard a rumor about it last week. I really couldn't speak to that. They were acquired by who?
Lowrance.
So yeah, the
yes,
same
Lowrance.
parent company owns Lowrance, and I think a lot of this is because Lowrance makes the Ghost, which is not my favorite trolling motor. I would not own one personally.
Better than any motor guide out there, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you ain't wrong.
So what do you guys think, John?
But Motor Guide is low round, so.
It's
really.
just part of the merger of the companies. There's no sense in competing with themselves, so they dropped the motor guide line, and some of those guys went in with Lowrance and building that new Recon Lowrance trolling motor.
Do you not think it had anything to do with dropping the Motor Guide name?
What do you mean?
That
That's what they did.
They're
That's all it did.
yeah, they dropped the Motor Guide name, but do you think it's because Motor Guide was not a
because
good
Motor Guide
product, so they
sucked.
wanted to get rid of it?
I wouldn't want anything with a
And they
motor guide
wanted
name
to.
on
They
it right now.
want so
either.
they're dropping the name, but they're going to rename it. Is this essentially the same product?
No.
No, they're
No,
just
they're not making
upgrading
those anymore.
They're just upgrading the Ghost.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we know a few guys running the newer tour with the spot lock, and they haven't had any problems.
Oh, well, they're lucky.
Do you know people that have had problems with
Yep.
the? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They
I
all
will-
have problems.
I
What's
will
that?
tell you.
Oh yeah, they all have problems. But
There's the guy that I fish with. He has the Express. The last tournament, I saw him beating on his trolling motor with like the backside of a wrench, and I was like, "What's going?" As I was going through my deep dive of trolling motors, I was like, "Hey man, you good?" He's like, "Nah, this thing won't steer." I was like, "So what?" He's like, "Yeah, I have to like turn it with my hands and then use
hit it with your purse.
I was like, "What the hell?"
Jesus Christ.
So
Yeah. I've not heard good things about the motor guide.
Is Frank still running the power pole move right now?
He is.
Is that doing better?
Eh.
Yeah.
He's had a
Okay.
lot of problems with the move. To the tune of he's replaced both boards, both control boards twice. He's replaced the lower unit twice, the complete lower unit shaft assembly twice.
from hitting
and
stuff or just
For
from
a
No,
freaking
no, just
$5,000 trolling motor?
This is just random stuff. This is like stuff just stopped working, and now he's got to replace the LED panel that shows like what your trolling motor.
so essentially just buy the Quest.
I've had zero issues with my Quest. I can't. I mean, I can only speak from my experience on that. But Herb's also had. I mean,
Herb's had problems with his power pole.
Herb loves his power pole. I talked to him the other day. He was like, "I love my power pole move when it's working."
Yeah.
Yeah, but same issue. He's had the same issues. He's had to replace the boards multiple times. So, I'm happy with my decision to get the Quest.
I'm gonna go with it. Something that says Minn Kota. It depends on if the Black Friday deal has a Quest, then I'll do that. If it just has a regular Ultrex, then I'll do that too.
Just get the Quest.
I guess I'll just get the Quest.
Just get the Quest.
It
I'll
moves
get
my
the
boat
Quest.
4.5 miles an hour. It's freaking awesome.
And
They're heavy, but they're good.
They are heavy. That thing is a
And obviously you're putting Dura Deck on the bullet, right?
It's already on there.
Hell yeah.
I had to get the shaft replaced on my Quest. This is the only issue that I had with it, and it didn't hurt the functionality. But somehow the shaft got twisted, so it was like 10 to 15 degrees off, like the bottom to the top. And I took it to the trolling motor shop, and I went to pick it up. And like I walk in, I'm like, "Yeah, man, I want to pick up my trolling motor." He's like, "Hold on a second, let me get the forklift." He's like, "That is the heaviest damn trolling motor I've ever seen."
Yeah, that thing is not light.
No, if he'd only fixed it right the first time,
And there you have it.
I wouldn't have to be going back up there tomorrow to get it again. And I have a feeling it's still not fixed.
That's the other thing with the power pole move is like who services the power pole move?
That's a good question.
Nobody. You do. The consumer services the power pole move. Or
Power Pole's customer service is the best in the market.
but
Your customer service can be as fantastic as ever, but if shit doesn't work, it doesn't work. You know, when you have to, it's
No,
kind of
you're
ridiculous.
right.
It's kind of ridiculous that Frank has had to replace 2 boards. He's had to
100%,
replace 2 shafts and
100%,
lower unit.
yeah.
They should have just sent him a new motor
Now-
instead of
yeah.
They just keep sending him parts. To fix it. quote unquote.
Now after
Where he's had the motor for, you know, he bought it in December of last year. I mean, the trolling motor's less than a year old.
after a full season with your Raptors versus your Blades,
I love my
Ooh,
Raptors.
That's great.
I love them more than my power poles.
really
Really?
They hold better than my power poles did. They're quieter than my power poles were.
zero maintenance too.
They are 100% more solid than my power poles were. You know, my power poles, you could
Like they don't have that
you,
sway.
if you're running say you're running down the lake in some rough water, like you could hear you could hear your power pole slap. Like
What's up, Ron?
my Raptors don't move. Like you don't hear them. You don't hear them. They don't. You can look back and they're rock solid.
Mine slap, but you got to be in some nasty stuff.
You have 10 footers
and they're
too,
10s,
so
right?
that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, comparing 8s to 8s, I absolutely love my Raptors.
Do you guys have any experience with like the long term up there? I mean, I'm assuming you guys probably do some services on power poles and Raptors. Do you get like is there a quantifiable like this is what makes the Raptor better, or what's this what makes the Blade better?
No, I think it's preference. They're
It just
both
seem-
great products. They each have their own issues.
What issues have you seen out of Raptors? Out of curiosity?
Minn Kota is just another product though that stands by their shit.
Yeah, their customer
they're-
service is good too.
I've never
I've always
had
had
an
good
issue with
experience.
Minn Kota and trolling motors or anything like that either.
What have you seen? Like just some issues. What are some issues that you've seen with Raptors?
The control boards and the motors.
So
Well-
same stuff that you see in power poles. Yeah.
Yep.
So nothing different there. I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like my Raptors they feel more solid than my power poles did.
Oh yeah,
They feel like they're built a little beefier.
oh even my 10s. I mean, they hold like good. I mean, the 10s aren't going to hold as good as the 8s in shallow water just because there's more leverage and more room for sway. They hold plenty good.
I have zero. Even fishing. I mean, I was in some gnarly current down on the Pocomoke, tidal current, and I just throw the Raptors down. Like it would go and just sit there. You know,
Yep.
if you were against the current. But yeah,
I ran there's on my demo boat this year, the big one. They were 10-footers and they were solid as.
yeah, I'm really impressed with them. I'm not disappointed in it.
No, not at all.
Do they deploy any faster? The Raptors?
About the same.
About the same.
They are quiet though. I mean, they are quiet, like real quiet.
I feel like the motor might be a little louder on the Raptor than the power pole.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what though?
I don't
Like
really
with the
hear
power, like if someone's got power pole blades on their boat for a year or two, what happens when they deploy them? Squeak. The bushings are squeaking like crazy.
Well, yeah, you're gonna run into that. I have a feeling you're gonna run into that with Raptors too.
But they're brass bushings. Doesn't rust. I don't know. I've
There's
had
no-
mine for 2
although-
years, and
I mean,
they deploy the same as they always have. No issue.
All the bushings in power poles are either brass or whatever ABS plastic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought that was like the biggest difference between the two is that the Raptors had the brass bushings, and that was like the maintenance-free part of it.
I mean, they might be solid brass bushings where power pole uses a lot of the plastic bushings, but I haven't.
Well, they
I mean,
say
I
the
haven't really looked
Raptors
at it
are
that
just
much.
like you just don't do maintenance on them. Period.
I don't know. We'll find out. I have a feeling if you use them enough, I mean, it doesn't matter if they're brass bushings or they're plastic bushings. If you use them enough, it's going to wear out the bushings.
Eventually, yeah.
And bushings don't last forever, so just depends on how long they'll last, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
John probably has a better answer to
Raptors
that.
tend to get stuck a little more.
You said the Raptors tend to get stuck a little more, like in soft bottom, or
Real bottom, yeah.
so my.
That is true. Mine do get
Maybe a
stuck.
little harder to get them out of the mud.
So I had more issue with my power poles than with my and we have a lot of soft bottom around here in the bay, and the
Very
soft,
much soft bottom.
the soft bottom setting on the Raptors, it takes it right out of the mud. I mean, they just
There's a setting for it.
yeah, and so if it's buried in soft bottom and they start to get stuck, you'll see your Raptor in the back go goom goom goom, and then it just comes up. It's where my power poles would just get stuck, and I'd have to like move the trolling motor around to get them to come up.
Back,
but
back, wiggle.
yeah, the whole back and forth, front and forward and backwards, and eventually, you do that a couple seconds and then
It's a
come
little
up.
bit too heavy on the foot pedal.
But the Raptors will just, I mean, they have this like, it's programmed into them where it gives it like this hard pump, and like it'll do it like 3 times and then it'll pull it up. And they usually don't get stuck.
Is the oil for poles and Raptors the same?
Yeah, it's just hydraulic.
Is it the same hydraulic oil?
Just hydraulic fluid.
What is it?
So they use a biodegradable hydraulic, or they recommend a biodegradable hydraulic fluid.
Like JPO or
what do you use for that, John?
What they come with.
The green biodegradable stuff.
My power poles are low, so I literally need to know what it is. So
I have a feeling you could use just about any hydraulic fluid in them, but you're in the water, so
you definitely can't mix hydraulic fluids.
Biodegradable would probably be nice, since they are. If you bust a line, it's gonna dump into the bay.
It is a lighter hydraulic fluid.
Is it a little lighter?
32 is the fluid.
I have power pole fluid at home. I
need
think.
some.
I'll check on later.
Have you guys seen anything with? So I know it was just kind of released recently, but you have the Power Pole 1 pump. It is one pump for 2 poles.
Yeah. Have you guys?
Have you guys dealt with any of that yet?
We haven't put any in yet. Nope.
No. I am definitely interested to see how that.
That seems like especially for like like those older champions where you just don't have a lot of room back there.
Or for somebody like Nick Rogers who put 8-foot power poles on a 16-foot John boat.
He said it doesn't get on plane now or something. It takes it forever.
It struggles.
Because he's got a 17-foot John boat with a 60 horsepower motor on it. He's got 8-foot blades hanging off the back.
It's pretty sick though.
It is pretty sick.
I bought a whole bunch of metal. I spent like $400 in metal one time to build my own power poles, and then I was like, yeah, I can't do this. There's no way this is going to work.
What were you doing?
I was trying to build my own power poles. I have all the material. I just never did it. I started designing it, and I was like, math started happening. I was like, I'm not smart enough for this.
You're the type of guy that would take foam out of a cardboard box and try to super glue it to the surface of your boat to save money and call it EVA foam.
Yeah, pretty much.
That is definitely Tony.
Luckily, he sent this boat to JCS, so now he's got some real Dura Deck on it, and he'll notice the difference.
You have no idea how surprised we were when we found out that he was sending the boat there. Because don't get me wrong, we love Tony. He is the cheapest motherfucker I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
I said, Tony can literally start a fire with 2 pennies.
Pretty much.
Oh,
just
yeah.
pinch them hard enough, they just start sparking.
Yeah. He can start a fire and make livelihood with pennies.
You know what? I think you have to tell the story.
Tighter than a frog's asshole.
You have to tell the story because I'm biased, but the reason I'm the way that I am, tell them about my uncle. That's who I grew up fishing with.
Oh, you mean Charlie?
Yes.
His uncle has a 1978 Skeeter, 16-foot Skeeter, that he pulls with a Ford Focus.
This is the most legendary man to ever show up to Mariner Point Park.
Oh wait, he doesn't have a Focus anymore. He's got a Fusion now.
Yeah, it's a Ford Fusion. It used to be a Ford Escort.
Was it an Escort? I thought it was a Focus.
Joshua, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. That is the first time ever in history somebody has sent us stars.
Yeah, go us. We got stars.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's
I don't even know what that means, but it's
never
cool.
happened ever.
Yeah, I don't know what it means either, but
I don't even. Cool. I think that means somebody just sent us $1 or something.
Go us.
I don't know what that means. We're gonna have to look into that. But Joshua, you're the man. Thank you.
But yeah, this dude is legendary because all of us before we were really friends with Tony.
Yeah.
We all fish the same, out of the same boat ramp. We fish the same body of water. We would pull in and be like, "Who the hell is this guy?" Yeah. pulling a bass boat with a Ford Escort
on a 1/4 inch hitch too.
One of my best stories ever is I fish with the same guys named Scuba Steve. We fish Mariner Point Park every single Wednesday because it's close to my house, so we fish there every single Wednesday. And we would show up, and there would be some guy there with this Ford Focus and a 17 or a 15 or 16 foot fiberglass skeeter
from
like at the ramp. And I
1978.
was just like, every time I would just be like, this dude wants to bass fish so bad. It is legendary. And then he would be out there like in that fiberglass skeeter, just doing some of the most gnarly shit I've ever seen. Like, you should not be doing this in a fiberglass boat.
And the old Zebco reels, you know.
Oh,
Yeah, running old Zebco reels and everything. And then one day, so I meet Tony through a connection.
Through Skylar. Yep.
Through my buddy Skylar, and I go and I get an invite to fish with Tony one day for the first time. So I show up to Tony's house. And I pull in the driveway at like 4:30 in the morning or whatever because we're going fishing. And I see this car, this Ford Focus in the driveway with this little bass boat back behind it. And I'm just like, shut the fuck up. I'm like, Tony comes outside. I'm like, I actually didn't say anything to him in the morning. We fished all day long and then we got back. And I saw it again, and I was like, "Bro, who is that?"
That's my.
And he's like, "That's my uncle," and I was like, "That's your uncle?"
Yep.
I think the funniest part of the story is he owns a full size pickup truck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
So we just didn't get to that point yet, but yeah.
Oh, sorry.
He freaking. He's like, "That's your uncle." That's my uncle. I'm like, "That's your uncle." I'm like, "That is literally like the GP legend."
Oh, it was.
I was like, "That guy does." All the gnarly shit that people shouldn't do at the ramp with a Ford Focus.
and to make
it's
it better,
great.
it was a 5-speed.
Oh yeah, it's got
Yes,
a
it was
stick.
manual.
Yeah.
But then at
a
the end
legend.
of it, he ends up going, like, Tony's talking to me about it. He's like, yeah, he loves pulling that boat with that car. I don't know why, because he has this Chevy 1500 over here in the yard that's set up for pulling the boat, but he just won't drive it.
He doesn't want to burn the gas. Says it's too expensive. This is the same guy who in the 1991 Bassmaster Classic on the Upper Chesapeake
Oh,
Bay.
that's great.
He didn't know the Classic was going on. He had no idea the Classic was happening. So he went out fishing and was fishing in Dundee Creek, which is local to our area, and there's all these bass boats. And he's like, yeah, I caught like a 5.5 pounder, and I held it up and said, hey, you guys looking for this? And then put it in the live well, and they got all mad at me. He had no idea. I'm like, are you kidding me? He had no clue.
Classic.
That is insane.
He is definitely a legend around here.
Well,
That's Tony's uncle. That's Charlie.
well, and every time he starts the boat, because it's a 1988, sorry, the boat's in 88, the motor on it's a 84 Mercury Classic 50 with the metal cowling. So it won't never start.
Metal
it's-
cowling.
And when it does start, it smokes
Yeah,
out the
it never
entire
starts.
boat ramp.
So every time he gets it in the water,
Smoke on the water.
he'll spend 15 minutes trying to start it, which is a waste of time because you know the cowling's got to come off. Take the cowling off, manually pull the throttle open, spray ether in, and then it starts up. As soon as it starts, it immediately hits the rev limiter. And then you let it warm up.
It's so true.
It's
all the
incredible.
time. It's good times though.
It's incredible.
Got to do what you got to do, I guess.
Right.
I mean, if
I can't say nothing bad about Charlie. I was out there in the middle of the lake or the river, and I ran out of oil in my boat, and Charlie came to the rescue, had some oil in his boat for me. So
Yep.
ain't got nothing bad to say about Charlie.
Premix, man. Premix.
Oh man. Well, we're at the 2.5 hour mark. I
Yes,
think
we are.
Are we good to wrap it up? You guys, any last minute questions for JCS or Dura Deck before we head out?
I personally don't, but
Any,
JCS or Dura Deck, do you have anything to add to our conversation that that hasn't been said yet?
No. Appreciate you guys having us.
How can so for anybody that's watching, you know, how can they get in contact with you? And I guess Russ and you know, should they go through, you know, John, or should they go directly through you? You know, how should they contact you for your product?
If they want professional installation, they can start with us, and then we send them to JCS Marine. He does a lot of them. We've worked hard the last, I guess, about 2 or 3 months.
Oh my God, we lost them again.
This cannot happen.
Oh, Sorry.
Yeah, we've worked hard to get a lot of these bass boat cockpit templates uploaded to our website. So now these guys can go right on, look up their year, make and model their boat, and see in most cases that we have it listed online. And then it'll also direct them to, if they don't see it, to just reach out to
What was that?
Adam's playing with the forklift.
Oh, look, JCS is their.
Oh, that's why they're
Oh,
calling
they're
it
locked
Adam.
up. Yeah. But man, I mean, huge thanks to John for hooking us up with you guys. We thoroughly enjoyed it, and we appreciate the opportunity.
Hey man, you're always welcome to come back and join us whenever you want. Hopefully, like I said, if you guys are ever looking for a connection or a shop up this way to showcase some Dura Deck products, please by all means let us know. I know there's a couple really big places in this area, like Premier Marine is a huge one, Intercoastal Marine for the Evinrude guys, even though we're a dying breed. There's lots of shops around.
There's the Chesapeake Boat Show that happens around here. And you know, obviously the shootout and whatnot. There's a lot of really great opportunities to tap into the Dura Deck and the EVA foam market around here.
I have one last quick question. If I wanted to do like self installation, how hard is that?
It's not real difficult. In fact, it is still a big part of our business. So we're set up with not only written instructions for every process, but we have a YouTube channel that will walk you through various steps.
YouTube.
That you can,
I'm cool.
So
I'm
is
pretty proficient with those things, so-
YouTube just Dura Deck Marine products?
That's right, Dura Deck Marine products.
Okay, Dura Deck Marine products on YouTube. If anybody that's listening wants to go watch maybe some installation videos or anything that these guys have going on, and do you ship to residential addresses, or do you just kind of ship to places like JCS to do installations?
We ship a lot of cockpit mats directly to the boat owner. So
Okay.
That's been a big.
Awesome.
But hey, there's a lot of guys out there that don't have the time or just really don't want to do it, and we have a network of dealers such as JCS Marine that can handle the installations for you.
Awesome.
Good. And obviously there's a process to doing installation. There's a right and a wrong process. So sending it to somebody that understands how to do it the proper way is something that I would definitely encourage.
Yes.
In your journey with moving from carpet to EVA foam, Dura Deck products is what we are going to be suggesting.
We appreciate you.
I'll be in contact.
Look,
That didn't take long.
that's one customer from the show.
Right. Well, hey guys, we really, really appreciate both of you guys joining us. I think it was a great show, and hopefully some of our viewers got a chance to learn something new and make a connection with you guys. And hopefully, and like I said, I would love to, if you guys are interested, if you guys have any desire to kind of get your name in up this way, let me know. I have no problem going to a shop and just kind of talking your product a little bit. And, maybe seeing if we can get you guys a little bit more localized in this area. I think it's a huge opportunity, and I would love to see it personally, just because, there's not a whole, at this day and age, it seems like there's not a lot of small businesses that are around that do the things that you guys do. There's a lot of shoddy work, and, you don't get a whole lot
We need more of it in this area.
Yeah.
We need more, I'm going to say like quality upholstery people. You can upholster a boat with Dura Deck, or any of those products. We need more of that in this area. It's very few and little for as much of boat traffic and etc. that we have.
Well, and the other thing too is if you were to get something from Ranger, I mean, have fun with Ranger parts.
Hey, Johnny Pipes, thanks, my brother.
Yeah, have fun with Ranger parts trying to get your floor EVA replaced. Good luck with that. Have you ever dealt with them? It's horrible. So I think that having a small business like you guys to be able to call and get somebody on the phone and talk and figure out what you need, I think that's a huge, so it's a tremendous value in itself. So, but we really, really appreciate both you guys, both crews joining us tonight. I think it's been a really good show, and I'm glad that we had an opportunity to talk it out. And and figure out what you guys are all about. I can't wait to see the Dura Deck on my bullet as soon as it's done.
Tony, we appreciate your service, and we hope you enjoy your new bullet as well.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. John, JCS crew, we really appreciate you guys coming in with us. Adam, keep killing it with the gel coat. If that was your first time, you hit the nail on the head because that shit looked awesome.
Good on you, buddy. You definitely killed it.
That was good, man. You did a fantastic job.
Fantastic job, Adam. Fantastic job.
And we'll work something out in the future for maybe next year coming up in Lake Ontario.
Yeah, definitely.
Russell back out.
So we actually leave next Friday to go to Louisiana to go red fishing for a week. So
that's going to be awesome.
We don't get away from the shop a whole lot. We're here a lot, and we get about two trips a year. And John did invite us, but we had already committed to the redfish this year, so hopefully we'll make it up there next year.
I can tell you that it's worth the trip for sure. Yeah, that's my favorite. It's my favorite place on earth.
Yeah, we definitely want to get up there and get into the big smallies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a blast.
Guys, thank you so much for coming on the show. Dura Deck Marine Products. We got Russ and Aaron, and we got the boys from JCS Marine. John, Adam, and we have another Russell with JCS Marine, right?
Yep.
So we
cool.
And appreciate you guys coming on. Absolutely love hooking up with JCS Marine and always having a good show. Can't wait to come up there and see me personally, Tony, seeing the shop. I'll be coming up with Tony when we pick up the boat, and I'm really looking forward to that, man.
Dress warm.
Dress warm.
Yes, sir. I'll be dressing warm. Thank you guys for your time tonight, and we'll